ball forward and giving ourselves the most opportunity.
Bit of to and fro around Clancy Wheeler and his selection all week, but you've got him in. He must be a player you've got great faith in.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's been in good form and done everything that we've asked him. He played the 3 reserves game and his training's been up to scratch, and he'll come in and play a really pivotal role for us today.
Well, you've coached a Colts premiership on this day. You've umpired a Colts grand final on this day. Now you get to lead your club into a league grand final. Good luck, mate.
No, appreciate it. Thanks, Steve.
There it is, Bo Wardman, coach of Subiaco. He's very calm exterior-wise, but I'm sure the heart is pumping. This Subiaco lineup, a couple of big decisions had to be made to get Clancy Wheeler back in the mix.
Yeah, absolutely. Clancy Wheeler, for those who don't know, went away for a few weeks mid-season overseas for a holiday, worked his backside off. Such grand final experience. Great to see him back. But there's those 2 midfielders, Ruck Rover and Rover, that just alarm bells. Horsley and Kidd, they aren't clean, they're messy, they're down and dirty. They are exceptional midfielders.
Yes, Clancy off to watch the Ashes for a few weeks. I'm not sure how that would relax your well-being, given how tight that series was and what you do at the cricket, enjoying yourself. South Fremantle, though, let's check in on what they have to do from the get-go.
Yeah, Brock Higgins is a little bit like a Shane Mumford style today. He needs to crash and bash and take as many bodies with him as possible. He's going to win the hit-outs, but it's what he does after the hit-outs. He needs to protect his midfielders, and if he can take a couple of Subi players with him, do that. In 50s, when they won earlier in the season, around 6, they limited Subiaco's inside 50s to about 40. So if they can do that today, they've repelled them, their back line will stand up, they can handle that many inside 50s. So it's just about defending and defending, and of course, I think that's their strongest line, South Fremantle. They work so well as a team, such experience down there, Blaine Wilson and the likes. They just will repel, but they work so well as a team.
Todd Curley, by the way, coaching his 5th season, but his first grand final. He gets his chance this afternoon. Lee Spur is with him now.
With a former AFL grand final coach of mine, Todd, congratulations on making your first WAFL grand final. What are the key pillars of success for you today?
Look, like any game, I think midfield battle. I think midfield stuff improved the last sort of 2 months. So, you know, real strength of Subi. So if we can match them in there and then get it outside and, you know, use our run, you know, we'll be right in the game.
And a lot of experience in this Subi side and not a lot of grand final experience in your boys' side. Have you addressed that during the week and how you overcome it?
Oh, look, we've spoken about a lot of things. You know, they've finished on top of the ladder the last 4 years and, you know, I've only got 1 premiership to show for it. So if we win today, we'll also have 1. So, you know, experience can be positive, it can be negative as well. Our young blokes will just have a crack. You know, we've got expectations, but, you know, we just want to get at them.
Thanks for your time, Todd. Good luck today.
Todd Curley just throwing one across the bow just at the Subiaco team. Not that they'll hear that, but that'll be the message to his team. Get the result today and you'll have a premiership next to your name. Big change this week. Josh Collard with that knee injury out. Yep. Adam McIntosh returns.
Yeah, they've been a pretty steadfast side though. Dylan Main at centre-half forward. We speak about him all the time, Skeet. Can do it up the ground. He needs to lead by example, but of course Hayden Sloyth, top-level midfielder. He needs to go head-to-head with the stars in Subiaco's lineup and not draw even with them. He needs to take over the game.
Absolutely. Subiaco, South Fremantle, what a year 2019 has been. There have been some magical moments. Let's look back on the season that was.
For Buick, spun, can he finish it off with a goal? You bet he can. Coming back beautifully, but by the captain.
On the end of it is Sloyth, and there's a great finish.
At the spill, Edmonds along the ground. Brilliant effort by Lowe. Stewart, gee, off the left, a monster kick. One of the goals of the season. Out, Garthone gathers and gives. Edmonds off the left, it's bending. That'll bring the crowd to life. The role to be favourable, and it is. What a finish, what a goal by the Demons.
Tonight in 7 News, a notorious WA sex predator back in court for breaching bail. Our PM's plan to put man on Mars, plus meet the Perth doctors behind the fight for more shut-eye, the secret ingredient which could cure insomnia. Nobody knows news like 7.
When I was younger and a bit irresponsible, I got myself into financial trouble. Now I'm older and I've got myself together. I know I can afford the payments on a new car, but no one will help me. What can I do?
Simple. Go to yesloans.com.au. We work harder to say yes more often.
Oz Lotto has jackpotted to $15 million. Now's your chance to live the life. Grab a slick pick before Tuesday's draw.
For a really clean home, try CLR.
All right, let's do it.
I'll start outside, you start inside.
CLR easily dissolves built-up calcium, limescale and rust. Soak your shower head in CLR to get it running like new. For crystal clear shower screens, apply, wait 2 minutes, then wipe hard water stains away. CLR's a safer choice that cleans kettles, dishwashers and washing machines.
Wow, it's like a different house.
CLR. See your home in a new light, guaranteed.
Flavorstone Diamond Edition, the all-new innovative cookware that has been redesigned from the ground up to be more durable, more versatile and faster and easier to clean than ever before. We developed Dymotough technology, an innovative diamonded fuse service. Our quick touch detachable handle makes the whole pan oven safe. With our revolutionary square shape, Flavorstone has 25% more cooking area. Get it online with these leading retailers or pick one up today from Things.
Your idea of outdoor living is what Trex brings to life. Trex composite decking and railing features all the beauty of timber without all of the work. It's engineered to never rot, splinter or warp and comes with a 25-year warranty. Plus, Trex is made from 95% recycled materials. To learn how to bring the performance and durability of Trex decking to your backyard, visit au.trex.com for more inspiration and next steps.
It's the moment that will make Chase history.
Stop. This has never happened before.
New The Chase, weekdays at 5 on 7.
It is Optus Grand Final day. Subiaco and South Fremantle, the two dominant teams of 2019. That's what they're playing for. The Lions hoping to go back-to-back. And South Fremantle find themselves in a grand final after all that preliminary final heartbreak. But they come in with good form, having defeated Claremont a couple of times. Subiaco, their one defeat this year, came back in round 6 against South Fremantle. So perhaps there's something to hold on to for South Fremantle as we count down to the opening bounce. Just 5 minutes away. We'll get our selection shortly, courtesy of the West Australian. May not be too many surprises amongst that. But we know it's beautiful conditions. We've seen two wonderful games already. The reserves won by 6 points over Claremont, and the Tigers beating Peel by 5 points in the Simply Energy Colts decider. But both teams lining up as we prepare to head downstairs on this Optus Grand Final day for the beginning of our on-ground official proceedings.
To deliver a welcome to country.
Yarnba, kaya ngalakayaki nicha wajak nyonga bibman boja, and Europe jeningen nono kama manyak komba, nono kanyini nicha ngalakaboja wajak nyonga bibman. Ngalakademan ga mamanga kora nyeting, ngalgonga manda mejigeru yagan dol ngalakamur balapa jeningen waj balayuat kol nicha ngalakaboja. Bala pawaingin wad bala jenga nona ka word coral coronap nona ka nyenin and wearing jening nona ka burdawan yay nganya kinicha wabarat yay warring nona ka yaki nicha burdawan nona nyere tarap ko kwap nona ka wangi ra nyonga karijan nganyong nona ka wanare gamara na kakarap. Ladies and gentlemen, it's good to see you here today to celebrate this wonderful end of a beautiful season, the greatest game on earth, Australian rules. And today we see two great champion teams playing off. May the best team win in the greatest of spirit. As we stand here on the lands of the Nyunga Wajak Bibman people, Kujabanga Panganabrik Watering Alaka Yay Burduan. Nganyonyong Inonaka Wanare Gamarna. Wanare Gamalina, Wanare Gamalina. Boyangudu, Wanangu, Wanarega, Malana, Boyangudu, Wanangu. Nunakadabakan calling yet Galakabuja Wajak Yunga. Galakaja more Australians. Ladies and gentlemen, take care. Have a great day. We are all Australians. Let us enjoy this beautiful day. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, would you please stand for the national anthem to be performed today by Billy Court.
The beautiful voice of Billy Court, the national anthem of Australia. The players are ready, so too is our team up here, with Dennis Cometti joining us for the first time this afternoon. Den, good afternoon.
G'day, Mark. Good to be here. Grand final day, beautiful day. Looking forward to it immensely. 6 consecutive grand finals for Subi. Quite a remarkable record. South Fremantle, a lot of work in front of them. They need a fast start, I reckon. They need Mason Shaw to kick at least 4 goals, and they need Brock Higgins to do what he did in the second semi when he had 23 more hit-outs than the big fella, Lachlan Delahunty, not as big, and 3 less possessions than Delahunty. So that says something about his performance in that game. He needs to duplicate it.
Absolutely. So many stats associated with Subiaco's recent history, Xavier. This one is something to behold. How about that?
Well, there's the grand final experience. So players that have played in these grand 49-5. Now the 5 for South Fremantle. Nick Subin's played in 3. Obviously none at South Fremantle. And Blaine Wilson played in 2 at East Perth. But I must say Subs is 3 and 3. So the good formula win ratios there.
Absolutely. That being said, as we check in with the selections courtesy of the West Australian, let's see, this might not hold too many surprises. Lee Spur joining the Subiaco bandwagon. Hard to select against them. There's no logic that says you should.
They certainly bat very deep through the midfield. They've got a spread of players that just consistently stand up and perform. One player's down, someone stands up. Another player goes down and someone else stands up. And it's so hard to do because it's all across the ground. And I think, unfortunately, for South today, they need one of those days where Subi are off the ball a bit and they're having their best day. And a couple of footy gods go their way, maybe bounce over the head or something like that and they get a couple of cheap goals. And then I reckon maybe there could be something there.
Just going back to those selections, if only bingo was that easy. Eh?
Oh, well, even last Thursday's lotto, that would have helped all of us a bit. In fact, I'm not sure many of us would be here if that was the case.
No, and I must say, though, we did the reserves game where the commentary team all chose Claremont. Claremont lost. We all chose Peel in the Colts. Claremont won. So the free spins haven't meant today that the favourites have gone down. The heavy favourites in the first 2 games have been skittled.
So we're looking for omens if you're a South Fremantle supporter at the moment, but they need a fast start. That's a given, you'd think.
And I think back to last year's grand final, of course, and the start by Lee Kitchen. What was it? 18 tackles for the day, 10 in the first quarter.
Huge.
Sets the tone. Terrific player.
Looks for Brock Higgins at this start, I reckon. This first centre bounce.
A nice touch between Sloyth and Horsley, 2 Warriors who are about to play out of their skin for their team. And we're just about ready to go. Optus Stadium, what a picture it is on this Sunday afternoon, the last match of football here in WA for 2019. It's Subiaco, South Fremantle, and it's underway. Higgins makes immediate body contact. Dragovic outside of the boot. Kitchen attacked it hard. Kennedy there as well. Comes across. Dragged off it was Kitchen. And this will be a hot footy early, you'd suspect.
No surprises. South Fremantle need that intensity now for the next hour and a half. Just stick to every single tackle.
Higgins, first hand on it there. Dragovic looking for a free kick. Sloyth taking to ground immediately.
Sloyth there almost just drew a high, did that little trick he does where he slides the arm up, so probably might suck a few of the Subi players in today.
Delahunty beaten to it this time. Back in the side. It's Verrier who couldn't get clean possession. Pressure by South's pretty strong early. They've won it back. And the kick forward of the centre. Strong in pursuit. He's got support. And that's in the form of the captain, Dylan Main. Off the left. 3-on-1. Opportunity for Ward. Can gather and give. Donaldson. What a start that would be. No. Across the face. And just sneaks home for a score.
Good turn of speed there from Dylan Main. A good turning circle to get back around and drive it in.
Very clever play. Dylan Main needs to kick a few today. Captain for a reason, and captain stand up in these big games.
There goes Slitherland. Spears a footy, as it turns out, correctly for Newton. Back in the mix. Borshett as well after suspension. Cost him a spot in the second semi-final, and he missed last year's grand final after being dropped. As Nick Subin gets involved, as he always does.
2 balls in a row there. The South player just let it get over the back, just missed the ball. They need to really rectify that, so they want to be consistent and do the basics well today.
Ball at right half forward. Horsley comes over the top with the tackle. Steve Verrier getting busy early in this one.
He was good last week. Worked hard.
In dispute. Trying to dig it out was Kitchen.
He's a grand final type player too, Dennis, isn't he? Down and dirty, nothing flashy.
About 70 out from Subiaco's goal. Verrier, hand pass knocked down by Horsley, who wins it back. Goes to Delahunty. Couldn't get anything on the boot there. Sloyth searching for it. Real scramble. Dragovic is there as well.
Got to say, that was the kick of a nervous man for Delahunty there. A lot of pressure on him today. Coming in as the Sandover medalist.
And rucking against someone who's completely different to him.
Yeah, doesn't want to look after him and mollycoddle him.
A one-on-one here. Powell, Sloyth. Neither player giving an inch.
Subiaco putting their 2 forwards up around the ball, trying to allow only 4 forwards or 3 deep ones to give them the best chance to score if they get a quick clearance.
Higgins wins it. That tackle had a hint of a push in the back, but the body was rolled in the process, so getting to his feet now is Stewart. No damage done.
Already the hit out, 6-1.
And there's a clearance by Brock. High ball inside the centre square. There's a hole. It's going to Subiaco. And Kennedy, in fact, Lockyer will be the recipient.
What a consistent player he is.
Absolutely. It was Kennedy's ball, has suggested. He wants to punch this wide. Borshett caught out of position. Wilson not given the free rein he was last week. Subin. That's a push at the back. Interesting approach on the man by Nick Subin.
I don't mind it. It was in the back, but I don't mind a little statement.
Well, the statement's coming from Moore because he's going to load up and put it to the top of the square. Strom the spoil. Going off the deck, Sokol couldn't get enough purchase. And Sloyth smother was brilliant by Horsley. We expect nothing less from a 4-time premiership star. And Verrier is doing a lot of work deep in defence.
I like the hit and the intensity from Subin, but he could have laid a tackle and just tied it up. So that's just the beauty of manage that aggression. When it's there, nail him. But when you got a tackle, you got to stick it.
Delahunty caught behind. Verrier again. Not much to go to. In fact, he makes it a foot race towards the wing. Hayden's got 2 to beat. Does it well, but gave it up for Kennedy. Now Subiaco could launch. There's a free kick. It'll go back to the Lions. Not a bad free kick to give away in the end by South. Holds up the Subiaco run.
When you get caught like that, you're better off holding the ball in than coughing it out because they get a fast, quick play. It was a blessing in disguise that it came back with it in the back.
Kennedy was there. Walters with a launch. And Subin off the left. Kick was poor. And Kennedy's racking up some numbers here. Waste no time. Chips it inside 50. And this should be a shot for Walters from the 50. No. Like something in the pocket. Powell. Couldn't take the mark. Sloyth. South's defence absorbing some heat here. A bouncing ball. Sloyth Got it out to Strom. He gave it up straight away. Horsley, gone, holding the ball. Has to be. He's done.
Just on a couple of occasions, South Fremantle just panicked a little bit coming out of defence. Here's a good opportunity to take their time.
And they use a Dragovic.
He was good last week. 3 goals. Tough hombre.
McIntosh into this side. What a story he's been. Game number 116. Only 5 games in 2019. Injury plagued. Had to prove his fitness on Friday night. That kick had no depth to it. Made life really tough for Dylan Main, who makes sure Litherland can't get to his feet with any comfort.
Oh, very clumsy. He's a tidy player, though, Litherland.
Lightning quick, too.
Like him a lot.
Switch happening here for Subiaco. Kennedy, another possession. That's a dangerous ball. Strom didn't attempt the mark. Realised he had Stewart, who can go for home. Nothing there. And across the face, comforting for Litherland. Those entries have to be better, don't they?
Yeah, just lower the eyes again. It's grand final. You're under the pump. You're feeling pressure. You can just lower the eyes because there's often spares, especially from those quick turnovers.
Subiaco broke so hard as well. There was freeze in the corridor.
Kennedy, that's 5 disposals for him. The beneficiary of some turnovers by South Fremantle as well. Road. Called to play on. Heads down the line. Delahunty and Higgins. Out the back. Ball scoots free. Subiaco advanced. Edwards Baldwin likes something at the top of the square. Harrison Marsh, ball sits on its end. Can he break the tackle around his body? He squeezes home the first of the afternoon, and the Lions are on the board.
Kia prides itself on the highest quality and design, and it's these qualities that made the Stinger WA's Car of the Year, as voted by the motoring experts at the West Australian. Outside, it's a sleek Gran Turismo. Inside, it's a premium luxury sedan. And under the bonnet, a powerful twin-turbo V6. I'm on the winning team at Kia, and now, with the Kia Stinger winning WA's Car of the Year, isn't it time you joined us?
Just saw the importance of not allowing the ball to get over the back at that big contest. Marsh in space, ball sits up. Clever goal. Subiaco, that's the way they play. Bash and crash, get it forward, and then they've just got so much class ahead of the ball.
It's a good finish by Marsh on a bit of pressure as well. Because Blaine Wilson was straight on him from that. Probably got a bad bounce, really. And he's good composure.
Margin 5 points. Delahunty decisively wide of the congestion. Walters back to the Sandover medalist. And kick didn't have anything on it again. So McIntosh receives. He too can't make clean contact. Might get out of this. Strom into Buick. 35 out, and the former Falcon gets a gilt-edged look from directly in front.
Strom not known for his touch and composure, but could have blazed away. You can see here a bit of a mongrel punt in. A story of grand finals, they're often messy, and just their nice little 15-metre dink into space. Take your pick.
The old chaos ball, and then a little bit of class, wasn't it? A deft touch, almost like a tennis drop shot.
There's little or no breeze to speak of here. Buick to get the immediate response, and the Bulldogs get themselves up and running in the 2019 Optus Grand Final.
At Simply Energy, we're proud to be powering up the WAFL during the final series. And no matter your team's result, we're offering 40% off gas usage charges when you pay on time. Call 1-800-286-867 or find us online to switch today.
Looking for a great deal on health cover? Well, look no further. Join Bupa on eligible products and get 6 weeks free. Terms and conditions apply. Call Bupa to find out more.
South immediately responding 90 seconds after the Marsh goal is all it took, but that's exactly what they needed to do. Hit back on the scoreboard. They've absorbed some early pressure from Subiaco, and then they've gone forward and kicked truly, and that was a clutch kick from Buick. They're hard ones to do when everyone needs you to kick a goal early in the game, and they'll get a lift from this South. I reckon they'll see a bit of pep in their step.
14th goal for the season for Buick, and they get a clearance, albeit just a toe poke, only as far as Powell. Oh, Kitchen, interesting hand pass. It's coming back with interest, though. Florenka almost to the top of the square. Mark claimed and paid to Brock. Heads outside the 50. One hand put up by Verrier, couldn't take it. Walters, brilliant smother came from Russell, who goes again. He's got Florenko wide of that contest, and the pressure by Walters was good enough.
Tough start in his grand final. Smother. Angus Litherland just collected a player. It's nice and hot early.
Body's flying.
Kick out of defence. Powell in best position. Former West Coast listed player. Goes to Kitchen. Back to Powell. Untidy off the boot. Walters couldn't hang on. Newton shrugs the shoulders. Kicks. And finds his man. Well, Fancy Wheeler. A new look. Outside the 50. Good penetration with the kick. Oh, that was a timely fist coming there from Mascos. That was heading goal bound.
Too bad it hit the post.
It's a desperate one-on-one spoil with the kick. Was perfect. Good body work.
Now they've got to defend again, don't they?
Absolutely. It's nothing flashed by Subiaco, and it never is, but they managed to scrap goals from real situations.
Strom, Delahunty, Kitchen somehow gets boot to ball. Pearson was there. South's defence under some pressure, and at Noah Strom says that will do me. Tense opening here. South Fremantle had to start brightly. They've done just that. A goal apiece. Early going in this 2019 Optus Grand Final. Delahunty, a speculative hand pass. Might be good though, and he's back in the mix, Wheeler. And guess what? He has scored his first goal upon return. There's a high ball.
Don't you diddle, don't you daddle, you better skedaddle. You need to run for your life. Well, like Virginia Creeper, well, didn't want to keep her just maybe for a while. You're the lady in a hurdle. Well, I feel that day.
Wheeler back in the side. All you can see there, Subin just threw one across the top where he's wearing that mask. Unusual to see him in the mask. Let's head down to Steve Butler for a Booper update.
Yeah, well, he broke his nose in the qualifying final in the reserves against West Perth 22 days ago, on September the 1st. It's 21 days ago, and he's been on an overseas holiday, so there was some conjecture about whether he'd be selected, but they put the faith in him, and he's repaid them already.
I think Adam McIntosh would like his time over again then too.
Fell asleep, didn't he, Dan?
Yeah, rocked back on his heels when he should have been going forward.
Delahunty just putting it to a dangerous spot. Wheeler did the rest.
And at that forward 50 stoppage as well, they went even numbers around the ball. They didn't take a +1, so they want to build the pressure early, Subi.
Wheeler into the ruck after kicking that goal. Subiaco trying to advance. Ball bobbling around. Strom. Moore couldn't find it. In the end, it's Waters. Drives it deep. Sokol's at the back. Oh, is that a mark? Not quite. His teammate, Borshett. And Sokol with a snap just missing, but the Lions building their pressure.
Ben Sokol, he's a brilliant player. I think he's their most dynamic forward.
Strom in good position to mark this. Couldn't quite. And lays a strong tackle.
Early leading possession getters. Kennedy with 5 and Powell with 5 for Subi. And Sloyth up to 4.
Nice recovery by Strom then too. Contested the mark and then laid the tackle.
Verrier paddles to himself. Moore absorbed the contact beautifully, then somehow got boot to ball. Subin was crunched. No whistle on the play. High contact. Yes, the non-controlling umpire. In fact, the umpire with a better view, should I say. Realising that the free kick should go to Russell.
Got a nice leg on him, this boy.
Kicked 3 goals back in round 6 against Subiaco.
He's got Sloyth if he can hit him.
To the wing. Strom's got 3 for company. Ball hits a deck. He did really well. Well, Brock, Higgins lays it off to Verrier. Lowers the ice for Ward.
Got lucky there, kicking to a 3v1.
Central ball, it's a dangerous kick. Kennedy swoops. Kitchen knocks it on. Kennedy goes again. Brilliant work into the path of Delahunty. Cruising past was Clark. Long ball, Sokol's out the back. Sokol goes to ground. A chance for Borshett. Gives it back to Sokol. You wouldn't dismiss him. You wouldn't dismiss him. Oh, yes. The Bernie Nolan medalist has got the job done.
Kia prides itself on the highest quality and design, and it's these qualities that made the Stinger WA's Car of the Year, as voted by the motoring experts at the West Australian. Outside, it's a sleek Gran Turismo. Inside, it's a premium luxury sedan. And under the bonnet, a powerful twin-turbo V6. I'm on the winning team at Kia, and now, with the Kia Stinger winning WA's Car of the Year, isn't it time you joined us?
This is a terrible result all round for South Fremantle. They unleash the man on the forward line as a result of a mistake across their half-forward line. Sokol kicks a goal. You don't want him in this mood. And he's got his first goal now from a mistake made by South Fremantle.
Let's head downstairs. Steve Butler has the Essendon coach and a WA footy favourite with him.
Yeah, it's got John Worsfold with me. I'm a bit worried we're a bit close to the white line, and Woosha goes a bit mad when he's across those, but didn't like that goal for Subi. There's still a bit of South Fremantle blood in your veins, isn't there, Woosh?
Yeah, no, I'm barracking for South strongly today, and, you know, they've started pretty well, but Subi don't miss too many opportunities, so we've got to keep that heat on them.
And another year at Essendon, but obviously pretty happy to be home as well.
Yeah, great to be back for the WAFL Grand Final. You know, it's WA footy is what's taken me all my life through footy, so I'm rapt to be here, especially with the Bulldogs playing.
Well, you might have to get barracking a little bit harder if Subi keeps this up, but we always love seeing it at the footy, mate.
Yeah, South Fremantle will never give up.
We know that. Back to you, boys.
Thanks to Steve and John Worsfold. They could use him off a half-back flank this afternoon. He certainly makes it spell. Subin beaten to it comfortably by Waters, and this is not beyond his range.
Kennedy up to 7 disposed. He's been lethal across half-back, chopping in. Sets this one up with a beautiful kick going inside 50.
Kicked 4 goals 2 in the second semi-final win over South Fremantle. Reece Waters. Tough kick, but not beyond what he's capable of. From 50. Just holding up. Might be a goal. Out the back. Ball trapped as the tackle comes from Edwards-Baldwin. And Blaine Wilson haven't seen those comfortable intercept marks from him yet.
No, you're so nervous with the Subi forward line. You don't really have enough guts to back yourself.
Subi pressing here. Walters in the vicinity.
Which they have to. If they're going to win, those defenders need to zone off, chop off, take as many intercept marks as they can. But at the moment, you're just not quite confident enough to take enough distance off your opponent.
Lead by 12 points. 3-1 to 1-1. Dragovic off the outside of his boot. Well, that's a terrific effort overhead in the congestion and brought next to his feet with a bit of attitude as well. The lead's starting to come. Mark dropped by Borchett. Ferrier, untidy hand pass. Horsley goes to the voice of Delahunty. He sends it back inside, finding Wheeler. South's defence really under siege here.
South a bit lucky there. That was a perfect kick coming in from Port. Should have been marked.
When you see a Subi player on a lead, and if that was Ben Sokol coming out of forward, he would have nearly popped it.
Horsley, one-on-one with Verrier. Neither player conceding.
South here are now dropping a +1 back in the goal square, so maybe they're trying to look for some of that clean intercept mark to maybe get some play going for them.
Higgins takes clean possession, did well, touch off the boot, and that ball wanders over the boundary line. Territorial gain for South, if nothing else.
Well, the kick from the contest isn't going to do it. They've got to break it with run and get over that line that's about 30-40 metres back behind.
And interesting, their full forward is the one that spares. Shaw's gone as the +1 in defence already.
Which begs the question, where do they hit if they do win these clearances? Waters ends up hand passing to himself into the pocket. Wilson was there. Borchett's ready to swoop.
I think that's a reaction from Todd Curley, though. He's seen 11 inside 50s to 5. I think South had 3 or 4 when they got their first goal. So he's probably reacted by putting Shaw back, saying, let's just stem the flow for a bit and then try and go the other way.
Inside the 50 for Subiaco. Higgins comes back to a more central position. Dragovic. All of this is hurried off the boot. Klorenka there, but getting to the ball first was Clark. And here's a defender.
And this is the problem with Shaw so deep. They can kick a goal from here, put it over his head. He's standing at the top of the goal square.
Yeah, and of course, all the time you try and get it to the skinny side of the ground, but sometimes you're better to kick it 55 metres and get it deliberately out of bounds 60 metres away.
55 out. Clark gives it a ride, and there is the man in question.
I apologise.
Mason Shaw doing what he's been paid to do down back. Although, ideally, he's a long way up the ground, giving South an option. Goal averted for the time being. Pack collapses. Dragovic receives the hand pass. He's swooped upon. And holding the ball is the call. The pressure from the Lions is enormous.
They just put up a big wall here, Subiaco, and just said it's not coming out for the rest of this quarter. We're going to keep banging it in.
Stainsby called to move it on. Does just that. Through a few sets of hands. Sloyth is there. Little fumble which cost him. Clean possession.
He's been quiet so far, Hayden Sloyth.
He has only the 4 disposals, Dan.
Another attacking option here for Subiaco. Berrier, kick was smothered. Around the corner, Newton goes by hand. Marsh flicks it out the back. They continue to maintain control. It's 30 out. Powell inadvertently toe poking it away from his goal. Strom goes to ground. Edwards Baldwin. A tumbler. Subin breaks one tackle. Verrier taken high, and they can finally exhale after being under siege for about 4 minutes.
Breathe. But you're still going to try and move the ball because Subiaco are so good defensively that if you take too long, you'll be kicking to 18 of them again.
And Shaw's that player that's dropped back, so he's being used in this foray out of defence. Dent and Wilson had to be marked that. And now South, can they build something constructive to the outer side, looking for Buick, but they just closed down the space so well. And there's another example. Outstanding work. Heel, Litherland, lock arms and say well done.
South used the outnumber then the whole way up to the wing, and they had another outnumber and then went to a kick to a 2v1. They just needed to keep using that outnumber, and then they would have had a neck kick inside 50.
Higgins, first touch on it. Newton searching for it. Stewart flicks it out the back. Main. And the ball is not coming out.
Hit outs 18-5 here. So South Fremantle really should get the first look at this one. Hayden Sloyth or someone can start to get a little bit more proactive.
They're well set up here. Can they find a way through? No, it's going to be Subiaco. Moore somehow boots a ball. Did it brilliantly. Support came from Joyce. Now the run through the middle. Horsley building nicely for Sokol. Doesn't like anything long at this point. And now spears it straight onto the chest of Wilson.
Don't see that too often.
No.
Sometimes players trying to really bullet the pass.
I'm a big fan, so I reckon he probably even could have moved it on much quicker, and he's so strong he could probably take someone on around the mark because it was so open inside 50 that he just took too long and then tried the impossible.
Sloyth, 5th disposal of the afternoon, but it's errant. And at Walters, 2 kicks from goal, seconds ticking away. South can ill afford to concede one more. Sokol gets a little bit of separation. That's all he required. And Ben Sokol with an opportunity to kick yet another goal in this grand final.
Gee, beautiful kick by Walters.
Just so well drilled, aren't they? He knew where he was going to go. There's a Wheeler in the background. Wasn't even trying to mark. He just tried to rake a bit of havoc.
Such a markable ball, just right in front.
As this man got AFL potential. Kicked 32 goals in his past 5 games heading into this grand final. He now, just to the right, but he has one next to his name. There's a lot to like about Ben Sokol.
Pivotal time in the game, really. I mean, South need to believe in the way they're bringing it out, and they need to get it upfield their way, I'd suggest.
It's coming back. Walters lays it off. Powell across the face, and Borshett takes the mark, but it was over the goal line.
About 30 years ago, I don't reckon Rowan Powell would have been playing much more of the game after that. He could have been absolutely demolished, but it's such a tricky one in a grand final. You want to make a physical statement. The South Fremantle player it took the lighter option on that occasion.
There is one game of the year that you're entitled to lay some skin. Higgins, terrific. Can they counter? Ward's got some wheels. Gives it across to McIntosh. Back in the side. That kick is interesting to say the least. Made it really tough for Florenka. Delahunty goes to ground. Kennedy gave it to Delahunty. In turn, Kitchen sliding across half back. They use Newton now. Litherland's in support, about to be run down. He sensed that. The defender streaming towards goal. Sokol's there at the back. Good fist on the footy. South's defence under pressure. Marsh can't take it with him. Going to ground was Strom. And South just by the skin of their teeth. Newton, though, 40 out, around his body. Left foot kick is immaculate.
At Simply Energy, we're proud to be powering up the WAFL during the final series. And no matter your team's result, we're offering 40% off gas usage charges when you pay on time. Call 1-800-286-867 or find us online to switch today.
Looking for a great deal on health cover? Well, look no further. Join Bupa on eligible products and get 6 weeks free. Terms and conditions apply. Call Bupa to find out more.
See the South players there just go to ground too easily. Nick Subin was one of them. Need to keep his feet a bit stronger in the contest and be able to get the ball out of bounds. And the two polar opposites. South go into 50 and it's a short, shallow entry, turnover. Comes back in, goal. I mean, scores from turnover 20-0. So South need to use the ball a bit better going forward.
This could get ugly before it gets better from a South Fremantle perspective. Walters taps it well enough, albeit defensively. Ends up with Delahunty. To left half forward, Powell. Good use of the body. Gave it off to Marsh. Has more in support and didn't quite have the space required to stream goalwards.
South Fremantle's lowest quarter is 7 points in round 12 v West Coast. So not a way you want to start the grand final.
They're winning first hands on the footy from these situations, but not able to construct any forward movement as Walters does just that, about 30 metres forward for the Lions.
Delahunty up to 7 possessions now.
It's amazing, isn't it? He just scraps away, he just joins in like any other midfielder as soon as it hits the ground.
Yeah.
Higgins at the base of all this, not sure he wants to be there. He's pleading his innocence. Arms spread eagled.
Dylan Mayne, the captain of South Fremantle, put himself in the midfield.
Higgins wins this. Florenka and Dragovic take care of Walters. Subiaco with this lead, you just feel they've played the game now on their terms.
Yeah, you don't have to change anything, you just do what you've done for 6 years.
Well, that's very succinct, Zave. Mark well taken by Buick, but they don't have a lot to go to up the ground. It's an irrelevant point because the siren sounds, and Subiaco, the champions, have absorbed South Fremantle's best blow in the opening quarter. And they lead by 20 points on Optus Grand Final Day, 4-3-27 to 1-1-7. Ben Sokol hitting the scoreboard, the Bernie Naylor medalist. It's all to do for this team in red and white. The running premiers have flexed their muscles in the opening quarter of the 2019 Optus Grand Final. Marsh with the open up. And then Buick with a nerf for South Fremantle. But their forays inside the forward 50 were few and far between. At quarter time, in the decider, it's 4-3 to 1-1.
You can see there quite clear the inside 50. The game was just simply played in Subiaco's half of the ground. Repeat entries. If they didn't score a goal, they sent it back in. Hit out. South Fremantle dominating the hit outs, but it's Delahunty who's had 8 disposals on the ground.
Yeah, numbers all favouring the Lions. Todd Curley has some real work to do. He knows that Subiaco have dominated so many facets of the game. While we're checking in on South Fremantle and their huddle, thanks to Bupa and the sounds of the game, we head into the Lions camp.
Early on, be careful. If there's nothing on, that we do go to our outnumber and we don't go to a 2v4. Make sure you use the outnumber, okay? And early in this next quarter, you boys need to close the distance again. Shut the distance right up again, close that, no freeze, and we'll go from there.
There's a couple of times, spread them.
There it is, Angus Litherland just adding to the conversation. It'll be business as usual in the Subiaco team at the moment.
Well, the comments shut the distance down again. It's start the game again. I'm sure they'll tell themselves the score 0-all. So they'll start the distance as a defender to their opponent much closer and then spread as they get more confident.
Steve Butler's with the Bulldogs coach now.
Yeah, got Todd Curley here, and Todd, you got an early goal, but it looked like your defence was pretty much under siege after that.
Oh, yeah, but it was really our use of the ball. You know, 8 straight clangers, kicked it straight to them. When we looked like we were going forward, then it makes it really hard to defend. So if we can control the ball a bit more, we had some young blokes, didn't use the ball well. If we can cut back on those massive, the obvious clangers, then we can get back in the game.
Maybe that physical presence we've known you for too. We didn't see a lot of that in that quarter.
Well, when you turn it over, generally you're all offside and they can just run. So we use the ball better, will help us defend better.
Good luck with the fight back, mate.
Cheers.
Todd Curley, sense of frustration in his voice as well.
Yeah, and it was obvious. I think McIntosh on numerous occasions was going inside 50 and not even a wobbly punt. They were absolute clanger kicks. It turned over, and then Subiaco just charged through the middle. It's so hard to stop as a defender.
The Lions with a 20-point buffer heading into the second quarter of this Optus Grand Final. Good hands by Dragovic to Main, who's been inserted inside the centre square with effect in the opening moments. Brought, weaving his way out, did well. Got the hand pass away and then backed it up with a kick inside the centre square. Subiaco ominous here. Moore has Subin. And a stoppage, not a bad result for South.
Good result. Horsley somehow was a spare forward of the ball then. I'm not sure how that happened, but they're very dangerous.
The spare forward of the ball is always dangerous. With a bit of a hold, certainly. It was Stewart showing the umpire there was a tug of the jumper.
I think it was from the centre square bounce. He just seeped behind a smart midfielder. Dane Swan used to do that a fair bit. Comes back out and you get in the end to get a nice little easy goal.
20 points the margin. Can South find something here? Poor kick. Overshot the mark. Brought in best position. And Verrier just looking over his head at that poor service.
Brought's having a good game.
Good couple of moments as well, Den, as Heel makes the big switch. Litherland, it's all comfortable ball use at the moment. Stainsby to Clark. Takes the short lateral ball, and Big Brock says hello. We might give Lee Kitchen just something to remember from Grand Final day.
They've got to stop this. This is just basic stuff. You've got to stop the bloke with the footy.
Kitchen, well, directing as he tracks his way into the pocket with a beautiful ball. Sokol, and he had a couple of metres, and so the equation now 45 at tight angle.
It was a comedy of errors, though, wasn't it? The backwards kicks, they pulled up a couple of metres short of the mark, instead of pressing right up and trying to make him kick over fingers. And then they don't stand the mark on the 50, he plays straight on. And like you said, the backs again, they don't get a chance to set up.
Kicked 3 goals in the second semi against his former club. This is fading across the face, and a mark by Borshett. How did he get his hands on that?
Just sums up the first 32 minutes of football. Slack going inside 50, and then to take a one-on-one mark. He's a classy player too.
That ball belies that statement, Dave, although we do back up what you say because we've seen him this year.
Yeah, he's had a great season.
Back after suspension today.
He missed last year's grand final, as we mentioned, being dropped. The heartbreak of missing a league premiership. He did play in a reserves flag, so I'm sure today will mean something a bit special. Strong, a one-on-one. Haven't seen a lot of Mason Shaw. Lockyer has him for close attendance, helping out his Buick. Oh, Lockyer somehow comes back to him, and he does it with such aplomb. The Lions can build. Horsley off the left, into Borshett, and where one team just can't grasp the ball in those 50-50 moments, the other team does.
Just a bit of composure, going to Shaw ahead in a one-on-one. It's usually a good option, but if he just lowered his eyes, the South Fremantle player, there was a spare 20 metres away. You've just got to use what Subiaco give you. If there's a spare there, just use it. They're trying to be a bit too fancy, a bit too panicky, and on that occasion, Lockyer, as he does throughout his career, just mopped it up and back they come.
Winning a one-on-one in the process. Second chance in about 90 seconds for Borshett. And this time, He's off to the left.
It's a funny old thing, pressure. Makes you do things that you normally wouldn't do, and you freeze up and you only see one option.
Subin, audacious ball, Verrier with a launch. Sloyth was charging. Horsley took them on. And for the second time, he's been penalised today. Main. He's got some run here. Now, Hayden was the target, but and again, not hitting the mark. Lockyer in best position, and Wheeler now on the wing receives. They love switching the play. And Litherland,
great kick,
comfortably onto the chest of Joyce.
They're aggressive on the spread, aren't they? Gee.
Across to Edwards-Baldwin. And they wait for their next moment to swoop. Just lobs this inside the 50. Good overhead. Oh, Wilson. Mark not paid. Delahunty. Oh, this will sting massively. How much has that hurt South Fremantle? The non-call.
It's the global music phenomenon.
Hey, yo, Straky's in the building.
I'm sitting here with K-pop royalty.
Oh, no, is there royalty?
We take you inside the K-pop machine, where success can come at a huge cost.
If your nose needs to be smaller or bigger, it's the company that decides that.
It's not enough money for you to live, about $1 or $2 a day.
Is it entertainment or exploitation on Sunday night?
That would seem to be a mark. Wilson in front. Umpire didn't pay it. Delahunty then. Another possession. And another goal for Subi.
Just subs up South. Everyone else stopped where Delahunty kept going. You always get taught when you're 5 years old by the old man, play to the whistle.
In that case, there was none. The Sandover medalist hits the scoreboard. The signs ominous here. Delahunty and Walters is there. Ball bobbling around. As it does that, we're checking with Lee Kitchen, who's put the headsets on to have a quick chat. Lee, thanks for joining us. You must be delighted with the opening from your team.
Yeah, boys, the pressure's been pretty good, which is, we know we needed that today. Obviously, it always goes up a level, so that's been all right. Yeah, early days still, though.
Kitch off their turnover, that's where you're getting a lot of your scores from. It's just attack after turnover.
Yeah, that's it. When we get control of the footy, we want to still be able to go fast when we can, when it's the right time. And our pressure's been able to create that so far.
Lots of inside 50s. Just seem to be going to the top of the square. Has that been a plan for the game?
No, not really. I think maybe that's just presented itself. So we've gone there. We know we've got good, strong forwards. So if we can get them one out, that's a good result for us.
We appreciate your time. Well played so far. Good luck for the rest of the game.
Thanks, Ellis.
Lee Kitchen, like the rest of that Subiaco midfield, they know each other so well.
I think there's one thing we do probably overlook sometimes, just how hard they work, Subiaco. They are by far the hardest working team in the competition. I think it's sometimes too simple to say the team's playing badly against them, but gee whiz, they work hard.
Lorenka ensures another stoppage with a tackle on Waters.
Visually to the eye, that's why you always say, looks like they've got an extra number going forward and an extra number defending, but it's just that run.
Somehow, Walters won it. Joyce across his body, into the pocket. Sokol is there, Strom as well. And like a boxer on the ropes in the second quarter, Den, the gloves are up against the face for South.
It's hard work, isn't it? And quietly, Max Walters is putting together a very tidy afternoon.
8 disposals.
He's a really good player at this level. Horsley claimed, dropped it. A little fortunate, perhaps.
No surprises who's leading the way. Delahunty, 11 disposals already.
What a week it has been for him. Felt embarrassed, he said, winning the Sandover medal, beating his good mate Kyle Horsley, a bridesmaid yet again in the Sandover. But you don't get lucky by winning a Sandover medal. He's been, as you said all year, the standout WAFL footballer.
And I'm sure over the years that embarrassment will fade and your name's on the board.
Exactly. You won't be telling the grandchildren that you're embarrassed. It's forever etched in history. Dent, Walters, or Dragovic somehow fended off one. And absolutely no room to move for Mascos.
Great pressure.
Suffocating.
What do you do, Den, if you're the South Fremantle coach, what are you trying to do in the box, you reckon?
Well, I don't know, really. It's past that almost, isn't it? We've spoken to them all week about what they need to do, but it's coming unglued out there at the moment.
Joyce at the 50, concede some ground. Horsley, gee, they have given Kyle very little room to operate today thus far. Litherland went to ground.
21 inside 50s to 6.
Well, they need to get their hands on the ball, but they need to get some slow play, take a bit of sting, get the ball on their terms, chip it around. But that's been the issue for them. They haven't been able to control it when chipping it around.
Higgins finally clears the area. But great defence by Brought, and leaves Verrier with no option but to head across the line.
They always seem to be getting the ball under lots of pressure like that, getting tackled over the boundary line, or a rushed kick, or a pressured handball.
Delahunty with the reach. Dragovic knocks it forward. Not sure the wisdom in that, because Clark was the only man in the vicinity.
The hit-outs are an interesting one. Higgins had 27 hit-outs already. Delahunty only the 9, but it's just not correlating to the clearances too much. Only up by a few, South Fremantle.
Remember this sort of yesterday at the MCG.
Absolutely.
Dominance in the clearances so much favouring the team not winning the initial touch. Marsh hooks it across his body. Mascos overhead. They can start to spread now, and Pearson.
Just get the feeling the confidence is really growing with Subi too. Horsley through that pack with a slick hand pass, giving it off. Terrific stuff.
Stewart kicking through the middle. Hasn't come off again. Chopped off Horsley comfortably, and they can start to build. Newton, a wobbler. Oh, Wilson, a horrible bounce for him. Comes back to him, that he's just got boots of ball. Oh, so fortunate. And that was perilously close to being a free kick for Subi.
I think it's a full brother.
Yeah, unless you claim you tried to drop kick it.
Yep.
I think that might be holding the ball.
Yep. I think the umpire may have just even been
very fortunate,
showing some leniency. Crowd, particularly in the shaded areas, enjoying this grand final. Higgins. Now Verrier, busy early. Subin must have bust his way out of there off the outside of his boot. Straight to Road.
Energy sapping, defending like this.
They're on the rack, aren't they, here?
Yep.
Just a question of when they can hit the target. Sokol gets another opportunity from roughly the same spot he missed a little earlier in this quarter.
He just doesn't stop moving. He just continually leads and leads and leads, and he can take a big contested mark, but so many times do you see him with 3 or 4 metres on his opponent. He's had 7 disposals today, 1 goal, 2 already, 4 marks.
He's got to keep leading because there's 24 inside 50 so far, a quarter and a half of footy.
Only kicked 4 or 5 goals from those entries. And it remains on that total. He's gone left side again.
1-3 and the other one didn't score. 5 shots at goal already.
Bear in mind, both these clubs very rarely play at this ground, so any nuances affect both teams. Heel out the back it comes, and Mason Shaw sees it over.
Doesn't seem to quite know his kick, does he?
No.
Sokol.
And I reckon if you don't know it, Dan, the best place to put it.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
But Tom Hawkins is brilliant at that.
Yeah, absolutely. He knows he's just trained it, whereas you just look here today, he's gone left every time.
Subin surrounded. Sloyth. But it looks like it's coming back. The numbers so heavily favouring Subiaco. Ward did pretty well in that situation, but out the back, absolutely nothing. Brought pushes wide, and Clark offers. Couldn't take the mark, but so much time as opposed to South Fremantle just to reset.
Did really well there, Brought, in the previous contest. There was an outnumber who just ran behind and said, if you're going to kick it forward, I'll just take an uncontested chest mark.
Kicking wide to the wing, and Moore mistimed his leap, and he knows it. Dent. Can they start to get some slicker ball movement? It really is laborious the way they're building.
As dominant as it is, and it has been an absolute domination, you're only 4 goals down. So if they can pinch 1 or 2, you're still hanging on by a thread.
They get the chance to go inside 50. Donaldson, oh, there's Kennedy. And he has been a master in this opening half.
Real mistake on the outer side. I think Brought was feeling it, and as a result, 2 up for Subi. 1 South man up. Subi lucky that time. The ball went out of bounds.
Rare inside 50 here for South Fremantle, if indeed it heads in that direction. Dragovic, a little fumble again. Subin was good. Dent, high ball, but no one in the vicinity. And Brought, as Den has mentioned, has been terrific.
I've looked him up. He's 22. Interesting player.
Solid frame. Borshett has got Marsh over the top for company. Well, they're queuing up here. Going deep. A one-on-one. Oh, Schromm. Oh, but straight down the throat of Sokol. He couldn't hit from the pocket. You can't miss from there.
Looking for a great deal on health cover? Well, look no further. Join Bupa on eligible products and get 6 weeks free. Terms and conditions apply. Call Bupa to find out more.
At Simply Energy, we're proud to be powering up the WAFL during the final series. And no matter your team's result, we're offering 40% off gas usage charges when you pay on time. Call 1800 286 867 or find us online to switch today.
Strong mark in defence. Intercept mark started that whole play, and then a brilliant kick on the 45 out. And Subiaco's run and work. Marsh just runs and overlaps, kicks to the top, and you feel for Strom. Tries to sport through with a double fister, but straight to the Subi player. But that's the difference between the two sides. One takes in defence cleanly, and they just don't touch it again till a goal scored the opposition.
Margin 34. Wheeler favoured by the bounce. Kitchen dishes it off to Horsley. The margin could be beyond the realms at half-time for South unless they can produce something. Wilson, poor hand pass. Moore, Borshett. Walters tries to knock it on. Sokol feeds it back defensively. But Subiaco completely owning this quarter now into the goal square. And fortunately, that fist had enough on it.
Ben Sokol's kicked 56 goals, 35 this year. What an amazing season that is. And he's topping it off with a big performance today. 10 disposals, 2 goals, 3.
Any chance AFL level?
I think so. I think he's that position that every club's trying to find now. That's that strong sort of forward who can take a contested mark, but who can also do it really well at ground level, as we saw him from that one in the goal square before. I think he can play up a level. It might just be a rookie spot or something, but I think more and more clubs should be looking more and more at the state leagues and get these senior players as opposed to having a throw at the stumps with someone who's played one game of football off a basketball background.
Very has tried his heart out in the opening quarter. He shut down Waters. Needs it defensively. Inside 50. And Walters again bobs up. He's a fine player.
Isn't he, White? He's about to roll here, I reckon. Oh.
How's that? 9 marks to 1 inside 50. Borshett.
Oh.
Hard lead. And the spoil was legal, according to the umpire.
It's a good effort. Got both hands to it. The thing with Sokol when he goes forward, perhaps he's picked up as a rookie, as you say, the thing that goes against him, ironically, is that Subi is so good.
Yeah, of course.
Discounts what he does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I reckon his characteristics, I think they transfer so well to...
Me too.
In worst case, for example, I don't know, West Coast grab him or whatnot, he's on the rookie list, he's not highly paid, and then he's playing for your WAFL club and making your WAFL team better.
Yep.
Against his former club, he has some mates still running around in red and white today. And entrenched as a Subiaco star now, Florenka prizes it free. Noah Strom couldn't do anything constructive. Walters, watch out. Oh, brilliant hand pass to Moore. That was exquisite, and Max Walters deserves so much credit for that. There's a high ball.
Don't you diddle, don't you daddle, you better skedaddle. They need to run for your life. Well, like Virginia Creeper, well, didn't want to keep her just maybe for a while. You're lately in a hurdle. Well, I feel that day.
Just weight of numbers. Handball over the top. You can see there South Fremantle players just get sucked into the ball. Subiaco rely on their teammates to get the job done, and more just out in space as easy as you'd like. A scoreless quarter, 18 minutes in. South Fremantle yet to score. And look at that trend, the last 10 scores. It's been an absolute tidal wave.
Job not done, but it's a long way to being in control for Subiaco. Clearance coming up for the Bulldogs. Main. Wide ball brought, opposed to Ward. Brought. Lays off the hand pass to Lockyer. So good in that situation. Joyce is on the boundary line to support. And the confidence just growing from this team by the minute. Little push on Strom. His hand pass intercepted by Boschette. A left footer. Won't have the legs. And, oh, Pearson. Oh, no. He's trying to fumble his way through for a rush behind. Finds an exit path to Buick. His hand pass not tidy. Thomas Baldwin. Edwards goes around the body. Marsh, hand pass, knocked down. Byron, claimed stoppage.
You reckon Claremont are sitting at home thinking, thank goodness it's not us, because this is an absolute savaging.
Yep. I think we've only just seen the start of it.
28 inside 50s to 8.
Some more damage coming, you suspect, before half-time. Just depends on the assailant. Kick. Partially smothered. Joyce off the left to add some pain. And he's done just that. The celebrations have started already. Extraordinary.
Terrific goal.
Kia prides itself on the highest quality and design, and it's these qualities that made the Stinger WA's Car of the Year, as voted by the motoring experts at the West Australian. Outside, it's a sleek Gran Turismo. Into premium luxury sedan. And under the bonnet, a powerful twin-turbo V6. I'm on the winning team at Kia, and now, with the Kia Stinger winning WA's Car of the Year, isn't it time you joined us?
Well, it's getting too easy now as far as Subiaco are concerned. Back in round 11, South Fremantle scored 15 points to half-time, their lowest of the season. Well, I think they're going to set another record here.
Kids that are growing up in their formative years, following the WAFL, they don't know any other side in the competition, I would have thought.
An all barrack for Subi.
Exactly. That's what you do as a kid, don't you? Strong. Takes the mark. Can they find a way to goal here? Good kick for Shaw, and that's better. As they've been going forward since that mark taken by Buick in the opening minutes.
Huge pressure on a kick like this, though. You know how much your club needs a goal and how bad it's looking. Getting routine. Just do what you do.
Been a big year for Mason Shaw. 55 goals next to his name, so he has the prowess but not the accuracy.
Gee, it was interesting to see there. Lockyer got done on the lead. First thing he did was turn around and started having a angry discussion with his own teammate who let him down on that occasion, didn't fill in the space, but you can be 50 points up in the grand final, but the Subiaco team, they don't want to get too far away from what they do and do well, so just leadership there, the back pocket, just let him down on that occasion, but next time it happens, I'm certain it won't happen again.
What is the margin as a player when you start just sitting back and enjoying the moment, even though it's only half-time?
About now.
Oh, dear. Buick and Kennedy, who started really well for Subiaco, being quiet in this quarter. Mind you, the ball hasn't been in his direction all that often.
Yeah, it's too hard to find any sort of note that you're going to bring in. 94 uncontested disposals to 42. They just had absolutely dominance and control of the footy, Subiaco.
Delahunty and Higgins. Verrier left it behind. Walters. Hand passes down the line. All gathered by Marsh. And then dished off the hand pass, heading down the line. Intercept taken there by Mascos. Super quarter by Subiaco. They really have played this quarter on their terms. More going back with courage and skill. Brilliantly worked to Kennedy. In turn, Boschette.
And you got the feeling the talk around him was first class too. He came back with confidence, didn't he?
Yeah. Powell drifting free at the 50. And the South Fremantle defenders starting to sag off their men.
He does have a big boot on him. I'm not sure if this will test him, but he can kick it a long way.
Call of 15 seconds. Rowan Powell turned 24 on Thursday. It's bending, but never quite enough.
That's the hardest kick for a right footer at goal.
Yeah.
Virtually have to give the goals away, don't you?
You've got to
Right
try
side.
to go both ways. He's got to bend to the left and then hopefully drift back to the right.
Margin at 47. Pearson heads to his ruckman, but Brought cutting across on the angle.
What a good-sized half-back flanker he is. Really like him this afternoon. Terrific.
I mentioned the size. It's an imposing figure as Dent stops the Subiaco momentum for a moment. Interesting off the boot, that one. Clark didn't quite complete the mark. Main is there. And the captain, his heart will have sunk in this first half, knowing that Subiaco have really got a stranglehold on this one.
8 points in the half, eh? You go in at half-time, everything that's said really sounds hollow.
Oh, and at what stage is the coach? You're lost for words. You don't really know what to push and press, and in the end, you sort of probably pitch that you win a quarter.
Kitchen's ball.
Yeah.
Still in dispute. Kennedy pushing up the ground.
Because the players aren't fools, are they?
No.
They understand exactly where they find themselves.
They're probably not going to come out and kick 9 in a row in a quarter.
No, you probably sell it as the greatest comeback in history.
Florenka off the left. Brought wins it and scrambles it. That was superb by the defender. Den just nods his head in appreciation. And the mark on the slide taken by Edwards Baldwin. But the work of Brought in a one-on-one.
13 disposals Brought. He's been tremendous. 3 contested marks.
There's a bit of the Shannon Hearns about him.
Absolutely. Not discounting his number. Edwards Baldwin, 3 goals in the second semi against South Fremantle, so he's caused them some issues in the past. This to make it beyond 50 points. And it's oh so comfortable for the Lions as they trek towards a back-to-back scenario. There's a high ball.
Don't you diddle, don't you daddle, you better skedaddle. May need to run for your life. Well, like Virginia Creeper, well, didn't want to keep her just maybe for a while. You're the lady in a hurdle. Well, I feel that day.
You can see here, big one-on-one win. Just slaps it on the boot, playing in front. Edwards Baldwin goes back, claps as soon as it leaves his foot. That was going only one place, straight over the goal umpire's cap.
It's taken some oxygen out of this first half, hasn't it? Oh, after the Colts, reserves, the drama, the tension, the tight matches, no massive surprise what we're seeing here, given Subiaco's dominance. And out of the centre square, they win it again. Oh. Newton, Horsley.
Dylan Main was terrific then, though, wasn't he?
Up against the odds, though. And that's been the case. Too much carry on that kick.
He laid 3 tackles in there.
Yeah, he's trying his guts out, but
it's just a weight of numbers,
isn't it?
Subin, a dangerous ball. 2 players hit the deck. Leaves Joyce on his feet. Springing to his feet was Kennedy. Hand pass missed the mark. Searching for Kitchen. Litherland.
He only played about 20-odd games for Hawthorn, but he's better than that, isn't he?
I thought he was very stiff to get delisted. I'm surprised that one of the Western Australian clubs didn't take a chance on the Claremont product. He lightning speed, rarely loses one-on-one, takes it on. He's one of those 60, 70-metre players every time he gets it.
Florenka was the end beneficiary of some work initiated by Lane Wilson. And it comes back to the middle from McIntosh to Florenka. Pretty open forward line, but you've got to kick better than that towards your leading targets. It's an easy mop up for Lockyer. He gets it back from Kitchen. Heads to Marsh. Waters just screaming for the ball, unattended. Is there time for one more for Subiaco? It's been a 5-goal term. And South Fremantle have kicked just the 1 point. And that siren is as welcomed as much by South Fremantle as it is by Subiaco. It has been a clinic in this second quarter. 5-4 to 1 point. And the margin at the main change is 53 points. It's been a total domination by the reigning premiers.
Oh, so disappointing. You were hoping for a close game. Subiaco probably arguably put their greatest performance of the season on show today, which we've seen a lot throughout the season and the last few seasons, but it has been so disappointing for South Fremantle. You can't really sell anything 53 points down at half-time, and, you know, Subiaco, you feel as though with a bit of scoreboard pressure, this could be anything in the next 2 quarters.
Yes, the Lions go to the change rooms in really good spirits. They know they've got this game under control as we head downstairs to Steve Butler.
Yeah, got Kyle Horsley here, and Horse, you must be just totally delighted with the way you were able to get the game on your terms in nearly every facet of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. The coaches playing exceptionally well. We sort of know how they like to play. They're really good in the air, so if we could lower our eyes or even just kick the grass, don't play too pretty, we give our forwards a chance to do their work, and our back set up so well that we know even if they do create a turnover, they're always back there and can create a turnover on the bounce again.
And the commitment of your midfield, even when South Fremantle did get the ball, you're able to match them on the spread every time.
Yeah, we really pride ourselves on how hard we train and our work rate, and we sort of back ourselves in that if teams want to try out spreaders, we can go with them, and obviously grand finals, you're going to screw your guts up as much as you can.
Great start, mate.
Thanks, brother.
Kyle Horsley, 16 disposals, a 53-point lead. He heads back to his huddle with a warm glow in his stomach, in complete contrast, of course, to what has been happening at South Fremantle in that quarter den. It was an outstanding effort by Subiaco as we head to Lee Spur, who has the captain of South.
Really strong start there by Subiaco. Dylan, as the captain of the club, what's the message going to be at halftime to settle the boys down?
Yeah, super disappointing start. That's not our type of footy. That's not trademark at all. Just playing for ourselves a bit at the moment, so it's got to readjust and come out and play the way we know we can play.
And they put a lot of...
Yeah, we're just coughing up a little bit, just squirting out that handball that we probably don't need to do. Just need to hold it in a bit more and then get it in our hands when we do have it, just chipping around a bit, just, so I guess, step and flow a little bit.
No, I'm Dylan. Good luck in the second half. Cheers.
Captain of South Fremantle, Dylan Main, credit to him for putting his head up when his team is having a really tough time of it. In this grand final, they trail by 53 points. The Optus halftime show is coming up next. Four to 1 behind, and Subiaco with a massive 53-point lead. Xavier Ellis, it has been a masterclass.
Has been absolutely a masterclass. Sometimes when we see what they do to the opposition, we probably don't credit them enough. South Fremantle have been diabolical, but Subiaco have been outstanding. Horsley leading from in front. Brought's been spectacular. I think it'd be easy to name the players at Subiaco who haven't been played really well. They've been something else, so dominant from start to finish. 32 inside 50s to 10. Marks, they're just controlling the ball. They're controlling the entire game, bar hit-outs. So, I mean, there's not much to sell there for South Fremantle supporters, but Subiaco are just purely in control.
Yeah, Bo Wardman, his first year as coach. It's been a seamless transition from Jared Schofield to him, and it started brightly for Harrison Marsh around his body, and that lit the fire for Subi.
It did light the fire for Subi. We thought that potentially it was an early goal to South Fremantle as well, but Subiaco just piled on there. You see Wheeler, who'd returned from an overseas trip and was picked today and hasn't let the side down either, kicking an early goal, but it was just off turnover, just the flow. Every time it came inside 50, it was an absolute avalanche. Ben Sokol, he's kicked 56 goals this season, and that's what he's done from start to finish since round one. He's just a dominant player.
And the Lions just shut down the space of South Fremantle regularly, and that made ball movement difficult. Newton, we saw it coming back from the break, that left foot. He's been a terrific player. Had some injuries this season, but slots back in and done a wonderful job.
And here's one where they got to play to the whistle. South Fremantle thought it was a mark. The Sandover medalist, Lockie Delahunty, picks it up. Fantastic snap. He's been quite dominant around the ground.
Absolutely. They came in a wave in that second quarter. So many inside 50s. Sokol missed a couple of set shots, that time offhand. Strom, unfortunately, giving his opponent a gift.
Oh, absolutely. But it was just a wave. Moore now rolls in and kicks one. You can see on that occasion, South Fremantle players 5 or 6 of them went hunting the football. Subiaco have just been so dominant. They just stay out, wait for their teammate to do what they've done all year. They win the 1-on-2, 1-on-3, and away they go.
They won every game last year. They've lost once this year. They're 53 points up at half-time. The Subiaco Football Club has been a power, the best team of this century. Can they go on with the job? No one would doubt that they couldn't. This is the Optus half-time show. More to come right after this. At that second quarter, 5 goals to 0. And that's how it stands at the long break. 9-7 playing 1-2, just the one behind for South Fremantle in that second quarter. We're about to go to a couple of presentations. Xavier, there'd be a lot of people happy that Liam Ryan was recruited by the West Coast Eagles, because now the mark and goal of the year are wide open.
It is absolutely wide open, and there's been some crackers throughout the entire season.
The key mark of the year, let's head down to Steve Butler with the winner.
Yes, and there's a bloke who's striking a blow for little blokes all around Australia today. A bloke who doesn't necessarily make a highlight reel of taking the big hangers, but it's Aaron Black from West Perth. We're also here with Len Innes from Kia Australia. And Aaron, hangers, there you'll go, aren't they?
Yeah, mate, it's the first one I've ever taken at any grade, so it's not a bad one to take to put me in this position.
Now, I'm sure this will be giving you bragging rights, but take us through the hang.
I know the feedback, it's not bad. I know the feedback from the box was while we're kicking it long 1-on-1 to Blackie, and they didn't say anything after that. So, mate, I don't know. I just took a hang. We were down 40, so I was excited, but, you know, I don't know.
Well, it was a great mark, mate, and we love it, and I'm sure you have that over your teammates for the rest of their lives, and they'll hear all about it. Len, it's been great to have Kia on board again, and thanks so much for your sponsorship, and I imagine you're pretty proud to be involved with the local footy.
We are, thanks again. As far as Kia is concerned, Kia Australia, we're proud of WAFL, and on behalf of Kia Australia, I'd like to hand you a cheque for $5,000 for Mark of the Year. Well done.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
And you're going to Bali this week, Aaron, so come in handy.
I am. I'm going to Bali, and I've always wanted one of these big cheques, so I'm going to take that home.
Well, Len, thanks so much for your support again from Kia Australia, and Blackie, great mark, and enjoy your holiday, mate. We love watching you play.
Thanks, Butts. Appreciate it.
There it is, Aaron Black, the Kia mark of the year, also a Sandover medalist, and just getting a bit of a launch of Jacob Dragovic on that outer wing. We were at that game. Outstanding performance for a midfielder. He'll remember this and put it fondly in his highlights reel.
Oh, and he knew the number one in taking a spec, you can't land on your feet. So you can see there, he just deliberately could have probably landed on his feet, but that is a tremendous mark. And, of course, West Perth Resi's won the reserves grand final today, so he might have a good night with that $5,000, I'd imagine.
Absolutely. As we head back downstairs, Steve Butler has a winner of the Tab Touch goal of the year.
Yes, here with Keegan Knott, also from the West Perth Footy Club. You can barely believe Aaron Black took a mark like that. And also Matty Thomas from Tab Touch. And Keegan, can you believe Blackie took that hanger to start with?
I can't. He can't move at the best of times, mate. I can't believe he got up that high, to be honest.
Well, we've loved watching you buzz around the forward line all year again, Keegan, particularly during the final series again. And this goal of the year, can you take us through it?
Yeah, well, probably my first of only 2 touches for the game. So, yeah, later tackle there, which forwards don't really like to do, and waved the wand and provided a bit of wizardry there. So that was good, and good finish too. So very good, yeah.
I can just imagine Dennis Cometti nodding his head in approval up there. There was some beautiful commentary there, Keegan, and well done. And Matt, I'd imagine Tab Touch as well. Pretty proud, and you're great local sponsors of local sport all round.
Yeah, that's really important for us. So as you know, Tab Touch, you're all about supporting the WA clubs and obviously Sports Producers Anonymous and football. So yeah, this is one great way that we're able to achieve that. So yeah, it's great.
And you've got a big cheque there for Keegs.
Right. There you go, King. Congratulations, mate. Awesome mark. Thanks very much.
When do you spend with it?
Savings.
Or not. Thanks, boys, and congratulations.
Not sure if I believe Keegan Knott there, but he does buzz around the forward line at West Perth. A terrific goal around his body. We know he kicked the go-ahead goal in that final against the West Coast Eagles. This goal, though, this is typical of what he does.
I was going to say, this sums him up to a T. Broke a tackle, sold some candy, and then finished off with a beautiful snap. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him nominated again next year. He's a very, very fantastic small forward.
Not a bad day for West Perth. Aaron Black, Keegan Knott, and of course the reserves winning in dramatic fashion by 6 points earlier today in a stunning upset. Of course, part of Grand Final week has been the awarding of the Volunteer of the Year, the Optus WAFL Volunteer of the Year, and we're proud to be associated with a man from Sorrento, John Soboleski, who's got the job done. So, at the main break, it was the Carlton Draft barrel time. The longest kicker out of this group, winning himself a trip for 2 to next week's AFL Grand Final at the MCG. Trevor Bartholomew, Jake Morgan, and Tyson Rowling. There's the kick, which won Tyson a trip to the MCG next week to see the Tigers take on the Giants. He's a happy man. Some of us are flying across during the week. Some are driving, Xavier, which you are doing for your radio show. Good luck.
Yeah, it's going to be a long trip, but it's going to be a fun trip. There's plenty of pubs on the way I might drop into after this one.
Absolutely. We wish you well on your journey. Safe travels. Earlier today, this is one side of this decider, but two absolutely thrilling grand finals in the reserves. West Perth, Dennis with a smile on his face. 9-12 to Claremont, 9-6. That was a major upset. And they celebrated that game, and still are, I'm assuming. And the Simply Energy Colts grand final, a 5-point win to Claremont over Peel Thunder, reversing the second semi-final result. Well done to the Tigers' victory in our dress rehearsal game.
How about time in possession? 61% to 39%. To this point in the game, I suppose the message at halftime from South Fremantle's coach would have been, well, let's win the second old half. Hey, that's playing that card.
Every coach has used it.
That's right.
Third quarter underway. What can South Fremantle conjure? Delahunty, Higgins. Powell couldn't get boot to ball. Kitchen doing pretty well inside 50. Sokol was the target. South win it back. Pearson, Strom, and Noah to Zach. Off the left, Subin down the line. Good ball for the captain.
Good start. Bit overlap run, 2 clean kicks.
Spears a central kick just over the head of Dragovic, and that spells trouble. Delahunty lowers the eyes, gets it to Marsh. Sokol, he's always going to be a danger in that scenario. Blaine Wilson is a decorated defender, but he was given no chance.
Beautiful kick too, just to advantage. When you know Sokol's strengths, you can mark it out in front, or he can, hold out like that. It was just a lovely kick to advantage side. But again, a turnover from South Fremantle going through the corridor. If you're a forward at Subiaco and you see those turnovers, your eyes light up.
Already 5 shots at goal for Ben Sokol. He could be in for a massive afternoon. He now has 3. He punches the air, and the Lions have started the second half just like they finished the first.
Looking for a great deal on health cover? Well, look no further. Join Bupa on eligible products and get 6 weeks free. Terms and conditions apply. Call Bupa to find out more.
At Simply Energy, we're proud to be powering up the WAFL during the final series. And no matter your team's result, we're offering 40% off gas usage charges when you pay on time. Call 1800 286 867 or find us online to switch today.
That is your worst nightmare when you're a defender. You're on a forward, he's got the whole 50, and the kick's perfect. He just puts it in front, and Zave hit the nail on the head. All he had to do was hold him out, strong body work, and he kicked truly. But I don't want to see South go into their shell. That's how they need to play. Take that risky kick to the corridor, but just hit it. They need to start taking some risks. They can't just win it going down the line. They need to bring it through the corridor.
And they have not been able to hit their targets often enough today to cause Subiaco any issues whatsoever. Verrier, who started the game well, takes Powell in a tackle alongside Donaldson, who's been very quiet.
Just the 8 disposals for Verrier. He had 4 or 5 really early in the piece, so he's been completely shut out after that.
He's got some teammates. Delahunty squeezes the ball out in the Newton direction. Dent accompanies him. Pearson, he had an arm over the shoulder, didn't get the whistle. South Fremantle supporters venting their frustration. Wilson beats Borshett to the bouncing ball.
Free kick.
Well, Clancy Wheeler has gone to ground. I'm not sure there was much contact, but
no, throw it in.
Right half forward. The Lions attacking to the left of screen in this third quarter. Clark taken down by 3.
Dan, through your time, have you seen a more dominant sort of 6-7 year patch through any sort of era?
No, I can't remember one. Competition, of course, was different then, but Very hard now to sort of climb up off the bottom, I'd suggest.
South Fremantle back in the 50s.
Oh, yeah, well, I wasn't around then. He did say C. I've heard about it, but even then they lost a couple along the way. And I suppose Subiaco could say the same thing. Peel knocked him off a couple of times too, but I'm not sure it's good for the competition.
No, I didn't say that to preempt the fact he might have been part of that era. They're just more at the history book showing that South Fremantle had that wonderful era.
They did have a wonderful era, didn't they, South Fremantle? And I think, looking back, probably 3 on the run is generally about as many as I can remember.
Yeah, Perth in the late 60s, did it?
Yeah, Perth, East Perth.
Yep. So this side, as Kitchen just toe pokes that over the line.
I think for the competition too, about 3's as much as you want to see.
Yep, that's plenty.
Absolutely plenty. You'd love to see some fresh blood.
Dan and I were talking off air before, and Central District's played in 11 grand finals in a row in the Sandful, so
yeah,
it's I guess Ross Lyon would say that's not ideal from a competition viewpoint.
And is it wrong to say it was poker machine driven?
To help get the recruits in, I tell you what, help get the cash. Not that they ever did that, of course. I'm not throwing anyone under the bus.
No, well, the Subiacos had to wear that type of criticism for a long time. Walters, once, twice, thought about, but realised it was kicking in danger. Dent out of that precarious situation. Joyce had a piece of it. More backtracking, tackle. The intensity still pretty high despite this scoreline.
Horsley 16 disposals, Delahunty 15 for Ruckman. Bort's been sensational with 14.
Yep, he's been elite, hasn't he? Walters, love the way he goes about his business. Verrier, they just are unrelenting. They lead by this margin, yet there's a sense that there's a goal in this game.
I think that, I don't know, if I was a Subiaco player, I'd really love to blow South Fremantle out of the water, just absolutely demoralise them. And I think Subiaco have that mindset. Not every team has it, but Subiaco for the last 3, 4, 5 years have had that. They're not going to take their foot off at any stage.
Foot on the throat, aren't they?
They are the benchmark. There's no question about that, but all the other clubs might aspire to be as good, but it's just not practical in this day and age. They can't be.
And there's Higgins and Delahunty. What's going on there? A bit between that pair. They extricate themselves. High ball. And Mascos does enough to get it away from Edwards-Baldwin.
And I think if you're a South supporter or the South coaching staff, you learn a lot about your players today. The ones that are going to stand up, keep fighting, not give up. They're the ones you want to, have going forward and really build your club around.
Bear in mind, no Ryan Cook, Ashton Ham, Shane Hockey, Ben Saunders, Corey Delelio, and Matt Parker. Marlon Pickett. Also,
Tim Kelly not far out of it.
Out of the mix. So South have done really well to get here, but they won't be content with that at the present time. Kick by Stewart, out wide for Sloyth. And these teammates urging him to get the ball deep. Not a bad kick, brilliantly defended. And Joyce finds the line. That was almost certainly going to be a mark to Main. But the desperation of that defender cut it off.
Perfect example of the foot on the throat.
7 possessions for Hayden Sloyth. Disappointing game.
And Subi's work rate, they just charge back so hard, up by over 60 points almost, and he's still the first people getting back to help out in defence.
There's no limit to their appetite. There's Borshett, brilliant, over the top. And now they're released. Waters on the wing. Litherland's kick was outstanding as well. It's a wave of maroon and gold as they head to right half forward. And Delahunty, well, that was beautiful to watch. And now Delahunty, the Sandover medalist, has to finish it. Will he? Can he? Oh, that is the play of the year. Outstanding, Subiaco. Totally brilliant. There's a high ball.
Don't you diddle, don't you daddle, you better skedaddle. You need to run for your life. Well, like Virginia Creeper, well, didn't want to keep her just maybe for a while. You're a lady in a hurdle. Well, if you that day.
Just too good. Delahunty, Sandover medalist, 16 disposals. He's now kicked the second goal, but that play, Borshett on the halfback flank took a nice hanger, and then it was just
faultless football. Every single kick was inch perfect the whole way down the field. The handballs, the work rate. That sums up the Subiaco Lions.
Just a joy to watch in full flight. If you're a South Fremantle supporter, look away now because it could get even worse. Keep the TV on, by the way. McIntosh confronted, goes to ground.
Just don't look.
And Byron kicks just forward of the centre square. Donaldson, another fumble. He too is met solidly. Walters collected Buick in the process. Oh, back from Newton. And Stewart is laying in distress behind play. Gets a word from Litherland as well. There's absolutely no intent on relenting here from the Lions. Choice. Walters comes across from Horsley to Borchett across the face of goal. And Waters and McIntosh, the latter pretty happy to find the boundary, if indeed he does. It's a whistle, a ball up.
See here.
Ouch.
Oh, he just got that right in the scon there, the knee.
And he copped some verbal as well, Stuart, but I can tell you now that was legitimately high. The Lions deep in attack again. Higgins, the hit out. Byron, intercept off the left. They keep coming, and Kyle Horsley has done it again, working himself into a lather.
Looking for a great deal on health cover? Well, look no further. Join Bupa on eligible products and get 6 weeks free. Terms and conditions apply. Call Bupa to find out more.
At Simply Energy, we're proud to be powering up the WAFL during the final series. And no matter your team's result, we're offering 40% off gas usage charges when you pay on time. Call 1800 286 867 or find us online to switch today.
And just foot to the throat here. You see Cal Horsley, a little shimmy and a nice finish on the left foot. But Subiaco transitioned the ball so well from defence, cleanly get it in there. And then once it's in their 50, they just don't let it out till they score. They're really putting on a clinic here. And they're showing why they're one of the top-ranked sides in the competition.
Those last 2 goals have been sheer quality, haven't they?
18 disposals and a goal to Kyle Horsley. They push it forward again. Weight of numbers more. Definitely. Newton could go all the way. 2 bounces. And pass had too much on it for Marsh. And so McIntosh scrambles a kick outside defensive 50. Brought strong through the hips. Gave it up. Buick. Higgins. Bit of space to operate here, but there's no surety about it. Back to Higgins. Ad-lib football. Kick over the head of Ward. Taken by Stainsby. Gave it to Kitchen. It's coming back with interest, although this time with the first kick being lateral. Up towards half forward. Borchett couldn't quite hang on. Pearson lowers the eyes. Main, some run and carry from South Fremantle. Subin. Short ball. And Florenka heads to a more central spot where Ward is positioned. Searching for their second goal of the afternoon. Sloyd, a one-on-one, wants a whistle, gets the whistle. It's been a long time since Sean Buick scored a goal at that end of the ground in the opening 5 or 6
minutes, yeah. It hasn't been a goal since the opening 5 minutes of the game for South Fremantle. So, and I think Sloyd would be super disappointed with his own performance. A top-level player in this league hasn't had the day he wants to remember.
A dark day for the Dogs, but the drought has been broken. Just their second. It's come after a long wait.
Kia prides itself on the highest quality and design, and it's these qualities that made the Stinger WA's Car of the Year, as voted by the motoring experts at the West Australian. Outside, it's a sleek Gran Turismo. Inside, it's a premium luxury sedan. And under the bonnet, a powerful twin-turbo V6. I'm on the winning team at Kia, and now, with the Kia Stinger winning WA's Car of the Year, isn't it time you joined us?
Hayden Sloyd getting mixed up with Drew Road. made the appeal. Umpire raised the finger, said yes, you can have that free kick, and the goal. Just their second of the afternoon. Brock Higgins has been kind enough to put the headsets on. Brock, let's be honest, this must be a tough afternoon as it stands.
Yeah, it's very tough.
Brock, mate, what are you trying to do now? A bit of pride into the scoreboard. What are you going to work on the next 50 minutes?
Just got to grind. Just got to stop them scoring, chip away, score a little couple of goals in a row, and get a roll on at the end of the quarter.
Is it going to be stationary kick start, or try and take it on, play on, take a bounce?
I think we'll probably try and take it on.
Yep.
Hey, Brock, thanks so much for having a chat, mate. I know it's tough circumstances. A pretty good time on centre.
Good on him.
Yep, terrific that he's done that. Yeah. Not an easy conversation to have, is it?
Well, it was short.
I've had those before in my life as a journalist and a husband. There's a sliding hair pass to Powell. Inside 50, Wilson backed himself. Well, the hand pass, not great. Not great at all. And now they start to come from left, right and centre for Subiaco. Dent, Main, drives it long, Sloyd. Letterland was there, brought at the back. Brought, is he looking for the boundary? He's found it. And Hayden Sloyd, you sense there's a bit of frustration at the end of that.
Yeah, absolutely. At full forward, he can play forward very well, but Subiaco managed to fold back so well. So even then, when you think you got your opponent slightly on toast, they come from everywhere.
Wheeler beaten to it there by Main. And South trying desperately, as Brock Higgins suggested, just to win a few of these contests.
That kick inside 50 was to even numbers, but it was brought to work rate, left his South player behind and got over and helped out. He did brilliantly. He's having a fantastic game, Broad. And along with a few other Subiaco players having a great game. It'd be tough trying to pick the medal today, I reckon, Skeet.
Absolutely. Simpson medalist coming up later today as part of our presentations. Lee Spur, Steve Butler, all part of our presentation as Kitchen. Clearing kick. All spoiled from Sokol. Tied up at half forward. It's interesting when you lose a final, as it appears South do like this, in such emphatic fashion. In some ways, there's more criticism of a club when they lose a big final, and if you overachieve and just get there.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to be in it to win it. So, I mean, it hasn't worked out for him today, but you'd rather be out there running around than sitting on the couch with a can in your hand. But the biggest grand final winning margin in 2006 for Subiaco was 83 points back in 2006. The biggest losing margin in a grand final in the history is 104 points. West Perth v South Fremantle in 1975.
Should have got that. I called that. I remember on radio or somewhere.
I think Barry Day kicked 7 goals in 1 quarter.
I think that's right. Finished with 8, didn't he?
Yeah, vaguely. I do remember that game. Subiaco well on track to at least threaten one of those records. Chopping of the arms. Mason Shaw. Into the pocket. Oh, that's terrific by Main. One thing you know about this captain, he is so wholehearted. He's giving absolutely everything in the name of the jumper.
Isn't he, White? He's a good, strong contested mark. The South Fremantle supporters are starting to get involved. I think they've sat there for about an hour and hadn't moved from their seat, but you can hear a little bit of support coming over the fence.
Even when he went into the centre, he got a couple of clearances, didn't he?
Yep, Dylan Main, 13 disposals, leading the way for South Fremantle.
Second year as captain. 25 goals for the year. And that was poor in flight. Clancy Wheeler, a friendly jibe on the way through.
But he's normally a very good kick too, isn't he?
Yep.
Strong kick.
If I was Clancy Wheeler wearing that headgear, I wouldn't be giving out too many chirps or lips. It looks horrendous, that headgear, I think.
There's a touch of Hannibal about it, isn't it? The way he's moving around, but a broken nose. He's out there. He's had his time off during the season, played some reserves football. It's been a test of Bo Wardman as coach to select him.
Caught the Ashes too. It's been an all-round successful season for him.
He's seen Steve Smith at his best, and now he comes back to be part of this, the best team of this century in the WAFL. And who's to know when this dynasty will stop?
And there's enough fresh blood in this side too that haven't played all the way through, that they want more and more and more, and it's going to be hard to match again next year.
Frightening. Main in the ruck, but Delahunty clever use of the body. Horsley, terrific inside hand pass to Joyce, just buying some time. Now he gets that support required. Powell, just too low for Sokol. Still a live ball. Marsh couldn't drag it in. Ends up with Strong. Oh dear. Some real elevation with that kick. Main made it look better than what it was. They streamed through the middle. Some good run and carry now. Donaldson brought the man to watch out for. Kept his cool. Gave it to Stainsby, and Subiaco see out the danger to Clark, as they often do.
Your man again. Den just cleaning that up.
He's got all the parts, hasn't he?
Up to the wing, Buick.
Oh,
beautifully kept alive. Moore takes the bounce, and that was fatal.
Terrific chase. That's Dent. Came off on a stretcher last week.
Yes, Josh Collard was a player who missed out this week after injuring the ACL. So a bit of heartbreak for him in grand final week. Kick just had enough carry to get over the top of Clark. Dragovic uses Donaldson. 60 out. That's lowering the eyes. And they find some space to operate. This time Stewart, from about 45 metres, gets a gilt-edged chance.
They're just finding the outnumber at the moment, South, the last sort of 3 or 4 minutes, getting that overlap, run and handball. Although we're speaking so advantageously about Subiaco keeping the foot to the throat, maybe they're just sort of taking it off a little bit here, and that's why South are getting some run.
Big run down tackle at that end. It was open at that end, big tackle, and then back they came.
Yeah, human nature to perhaps have a look at the scoreboard and realise the job is essentially done. Left footer sprayed it by a long margin.
You sound patronising too when you say something nice about South Fremantle, don't you?
Yeah.
It's a tricky spot to be in.
I think the scoreboard says everything about today. And I'm not sure any other team in the WAFL.
Oh no, it would have been the same result.
Would have been spared. Advantage will be paid here. Walters. McIntosh sweating on that tackle. I'm not sure how many players they'll actually lose, Subiaco, from this. I'm told Kyle Horsley will play on. There might be one or two. Clancy Wheeler. They've got a couple of players who've been around a long time, but can't see a dramatic demise, Dan.
No. And I would think if there was an amalgamation between a couple of the other top clubs, they still couldn't beat Subi.
Oh, a state league team wouldn't beat them.
No.
Interesting, isn't it? What about the Gold Coast?
Yeah, interesting.
More on the wing.
Stewie G will be watching this. He'll be on the phone. Challenge match.
Kick almost intercepted by Dent, and he couldn't quite grab that bouncing ball, much to his despair.
That's the key, though, with having a dynasty, is you don't lose a lot of players. You keep those really quality players, and for one reason or another, Subiaco's top players just haven't seemed to be picked up a lot in the AFL system over the last few years, and they've also developed that talent from underneath to go with it.
And the history is a selling point. Yeah, if you want to win a grand final, you want to play in grand finals, it's a bit like Hawthorn and Clarkson there for a long period of time in the AFL when they target a lot of free agents. It's a good way to get players into your footy club success, but they've picked players that weren't dominating at previous WAFL clubs or weren't dominating in different states, so they've definitely got a good system.
Not a bad stepping stone for a player to get back into the AFL system, and that's been proven a couple of times. Josh DeLuca, one of those this year. Jack Clark last year. There's a reputation which goes with Subiaco in this competition. Nearing the 23rd minute mark of this third quarter. 12 goals to 2. Margin too much for South Fremantle to bear. Donaldson. Clever spin. Chopped off. And they're finding ways to make this a torturous last half for South.
I think if you do recruit a Subiaco player, you know he's been very well schooled.
It's just hard to get him out.
Stainsby. Not terrific for Sokol. Strong. Waste no time. Across to Stewart. Wheels and goes. A good ball. Big Brock. What can he do? Just got out of position. And Rode with the mobility under those circumstances to beat his opponent, get it to Clark, and sent it wider still to Horsley, who moves up to 21 disposals, 5th flag coming up for him.
Fantastic. 3 times he's been runner-up to Sandover, which has been a slight asterisk next to his name, because I think he deserves one. He's such a good player. He works so hard. He epitomises absolutely everything the Subiaco Lions have become.
And he was, sorry, I was just going to say, he was stiff with his AFL career too.
Absolutely.
When he bit his knee.
So too is that man Marsh, who knocks it towards Borchette, releases, gets it to Edwards Baldwin, backtracking, thought about giving it, now to Horsley. Off a step. There's 2 to choose from. Moore was there, but the Bernie Nala medalist says, hey, this is my area.
What a lovely kick.
The man who's at 28, or 23 disposals, sorry, kicks it to the bloke who's kicked 3 goals, 3 back kick his 4th. There could be 2 favourites there for the Simpson medal.
Certainly in discussion. Big week also for Ben Sokol. At the Sandover, awarded one of the great achievements in WAFL footy, being coached recently by the great Austin Robertson as well. So it's a reasonable reason why he's kicking them just like that. The party continues for the rampaging Lions. There's a high ball.
Don't you diddle, don't you daddle, you better skedaddle. May need to run for your life. Well, like Virginia Creeper, well, didn't want to keep her, just maybe for a while. You're lately in a hurdle. Well, I feel that day.
What a beautiful kick coming in. And Sokol getting his 4th goal. I think he got 4 in a losing grand final for Subi as well. You mentioned Austin Robertson. There has never been a straighter kick. Perhaps Neil Hawke going way, way back. But Austin Robertson just didn't miss.
Kicked 23 in one game.
23.
23.
No. Did he?
Yes.
I thought it was Bernie Naylor.
It might have been Bernie Naylor. My bad. That's Steve Butler.
Oh, sorry.
Well, it hasn't been a great day for South Fremantle, but it's a good day for one of their boys. Marlian Pickett, the best on ground in the VFL Grand Final today. He might have started the year with the Bulldogs. He might end it in a Grand Final with Richmond next Saturday. He won the Norm Goss medal today in a 3-point win over Williamstown. So a great day for Marlian Pickett, and we'll cross our fingers for him for later in the week.
How would that be? A debutant in an AFL Grand Final.
Call me mad. I'd play him. I think he's brilliant.
They've left a couple of players out, Richmond, including Ross, who has been held over. Sydney Stack played today as well, but Ross was left out. You know, there's Jack Graham and Nathan Broad also being troubled. Apologies, by the way, to Bernie Naylor. 23, that's right. I did the Sandover on Monday, and that's where the 23 came into my head. And Austin Robertson, we were talking about him at the same time. But he was, as you say, one of the great forwards of...
Yep, the drop punt was his kick of choice.
Just a great of Western Australian footy. And Subiaco nearing 3/4 time. 68 points to the good. Walters can't drag it out of there.
It's interesting. It's hard to get your head around the gap between football like we're seeing this afternoon and the AFL, because Marlian Pickett and Tim Kelly, interesting, aren't they? I mean, overlooked for a long time, and suddenly they're all the rage.
Especially Pickett, for example, just to get that opportunity through the mid-season draft, it just would be an opportunity of his life. He wouldn't have missed the draft, obviously, seen Tim Kelly perform at such a level, and I honestly can't split them too much from what we used to watch and call and play against. I think Pickett's not that far from what Tim Kelly is or could be.
Yeah, certainly. And I remember when I was playing in the Sandful for a number of years, there's a lot of players that I played with that could certainly play at AFL level. It's just about getting an opportunity and making the most of it.
Walters through the congestion. Bit of fortune attached to that. Edwards Baldwin takes it. Here's Brought, well positioned. A juggler opposed to Main. Just on Austin Robertson, Dan. How about that? 100 goals in a season 6 times.
Yeah, great play.
1,211 goals.
In a poor side for a lot of it.
Yep.
That's when Subi were poor.
That's a distant memory at the moment. Strom looking for Shaw, missed the target. Lockyer in the way.
Now they're not poor in any respect.
Powell heads wide. Seconds to go before three-quarter time. Wheeler opposed to Pearson. McIntosh back in the side. Sharp hand pass. Too slick as it turns out for Mascos. And the siren may well have saved South from another onslaught. Waters asked the question. The umpire having none of it. It has been a tough afternoon for the Bulldogs. Subiaco just 1 quarter away from completing back-to-back premierships as part of Optus 2019 WAFL season.
The grand final is here.
I'll guess the number 1. No? Okay, I'll fix it.
A night of spectacle that has to be seen to be believed.
With grand final performances by Samantha Jade and Cousin Tino's.
Your live vote decides the winner.
The winner of Australia's Got Talent is...
The Australia's Got Talent Grand Final. Tonight at 7 on 7.
Rover and I do everything together. He's reliable and never lets me down. Rover, you're my best mate. Rover, a gardener's best friend.
Hola! Some rides are better than others. Compare your usual rideshare app with Ola. When it comes to the number of cars, they've both got heaps. Probably the same drivers too. Same so far. But when you arrive, why pay the usual when Ola works out way cheaper? And with Ola, drivers keep more of the fare, so they want your ride. Need a ride? Download the Ola app and get 50% off rides for the first 2 weeks.
Hola!
Same, but better.
It's Tyre Power's big footy final sale.
Family car tyres from just $95.
Get the power!
Performance tyres from only $109.
Get the power!
Also during Tyre Power's big footy final sale, buy 3 Toyo Proxy C100 Plus or Proxy C100 Plus SUV tyres and get one free. Ask in store for details.
It's Tyre Power's big footy final sale.
Tyre Power Footy Final Sale. Catalogue online now.
Nurofen Advanced liquid capsules are released rapidly and absorbed faster into the bloodstream than standard Nurofen. For fast pain relief, use Nurofen Advanced liquid capsules. Unleash the speed of liquid.
Should we order...
Did somebody say menu log? Did somebody say menu log?
It's time to get set for summer. Now's the time to create the perfect outdoor area with a pergola, patio or deck from Australian Outdoor Living. And for a limited time, you'll get up to 20% off. Custom built for your needs, so you can entertain friends and family outdoors. Sit back, relax and enjoy the warm weather. Make it the best summer yet with the perfect outdoor area from Australian Outdoor Living.
Australian Outdoor Living.
The greatest garden in the street. They know it, you mow it. With the Honda Buffalo. Easy to start, built tough, with a powerful new engine, plus most safe control. The all-new Honda Buffalo. Greatness in your garden.
Tonight in 7 News, one of WA's most dangerous sex offenders back in court. How Edward Latimer breached bail again. The hunt for a seasoned SKP across Perth, and America's Mars mission gets a $150 million Aussie boost.
Nobody knows news like 7.
Optus Grand Final Day for 2019. Ben Sokol and his Subiaco teammates have enjoyed every moment of it. Sokol with 4 goals to his name. Kyle Horsley keeps on doing it. Just 30 minutes away from his 5th premiership at this level. 3/4 time, a 4-goal-to-1 turn. It's been one-way traffic. The Lions 13-7 to 2-5.
Yeah, you can see there it was meant to be a worm, that mark, but it looks like a cliff face, unfortunately, for South Fremantle. Inside 50's dominant. Hit-outs have sort of been irrelevant. Higgins has been dominating them, but it's around the ball, the work that the midfielders have done in their defence. They're just playing like such a unit. It's actually really inspiring to watch. They have been something unusually so good in a grand final.
Yeah, terrific work. Subiaco, Clancy Wheeler getting the head gear back on after that broken nose as he relishes what has been another outstanding performance. Steve Butler, you with a man who's about half an hour away from a premiership as a league coach.
Yeah, I think that it won't be in his mind just yet, but Bo, your team's been pretty ruthless all year, and they're ruthless again today. You must be very proud of that.
Oh yeah, for 3/4 I think we've been competitive and showing the brand that we want to play. We've got to finish it off. Obviously, be really nice to win the quarter and then I suppose celebrate afterwards.
How are you feeling right now? You've got a big lead. You might get a chance to celebrate it early if this keeps coming on.
Oh look, South Fremantle, to their credit, they had most of the running in that quarter, and I suppose they're capable of kicking multiple goals, so that was the message at that break, just to make sure that we really continue to work, finish off the game the way that we've played all season, and if we can execute that, then we'll come away happy.
Go and enjoy this last quarter, mate.
No worries. Thanks, Steve. Cheers.
Good on, Bo, too.
Okay, for us, just what can we get out of this quarter now? Let's just give everything we got, keep moving, keep our run going, keep the fidget spinner running. All we can do is take our chances, okay? Make sure we're still talking to our mids. Use the usable, drop the eyes, use that first one we can. But like I said, if they're going to wheel and go, we've got to make sure we have someone at the foot, okay, prepared to come at them. Use the usable, take our opportunities. That's all it is now.
Yeah, that was just a few minutes ago. The booper sounds of the game. I enjoy the fact the South Fremantle huddle's still showing some energy. Not quite simply energy as we saw earlier today in the Colts, but Bo Wardman needed him to just relax a bit. It's a job done, you would have thought, but a coach is a coach.
But he wasn't a hiding to nothing, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he says that he's going to enjoy the last quarter and celebrate, and then that comes across a little bit disrespectful, I suppose. But he sit there without using the phone once this quarter, I'd imagine. Yeah,
you make a very good point, Dan. After being unbeaten last year, Jared Schofield, Bo Wardman, pretty tough to come in and do what he's done, but it's task almost completed. Road with some dash out of defence. Up to the 50. Wheeler goes to ground. Dent, the shrug off. And the release hand pass was okay for Mascos. Out wider still. Kyle Russell in position. Over the head of Ward. That's been a theme of South Fremantle's ball use today. Ward to himself, essentially. Heel there to intervene. Road. Kennedy started brightly. Back to Horsley. And turn to Newton. Sidestep around Russell. Inside 50. And how's that? So cold. In the right spot.
Russell had to stick that tackle.
Yeah.
Have him dead to rights.
They've broken a lot of tackles today, Subiaco, though, so he's not alone.
No.
He's got a few compadres with him.
Having a shot for his 5th of the afternoon. Ben Sokol. There's been lots of supply. He could well have 6 or 7 next to his name. But as it stands, he'll take 5.
At Simply Energy, we're proud to be powering up the WAFL during the final series. And no matter your team's result, we're offering 40% off gas usage charges when you pay on time. Call 1-800-286-867 or find us online to switch today.
Looking for a great deal on health cover? Well, look no further. Join Bupa on eligible products and get 6 weeks free. Terms and conditions apply. Call Bupa to find out more.
A missed tackle and then a bit of a wobbly old ball in, but Sokol leading at the footy, charging out, playing with confidence, goes back and kicks Trilling, kicks his 5th, and his highest goal scoring is 7 goals 2. We'll go down to Steve Butler on the boundary with a Bupa injury update.
Yeah, I didn't see what Hayden Kennedy did, but he's got a pretty sore left ankle. He came off limping and he's getting some treatment there on the bench now, but he's been pretty good today. I'm not sure it'll feel too bad in about half an hour.
Good point. Started really well. Kennedy has 11 possessions next to his name. Instrumental in just holding South at bay in that first quarter as the margin widens. The restart. Horsley again. Subin over the top.
I just see it's the big fist here from Brock Higgins. He's got his hand to it all day, but just get it going your way. Surge it forward and just try and create some spark for the South team.
He does just that, but the ball ricochets into Subin. Brock gets involved again. Verrier, Dent over the top to Donaldson. Asks something of Verrier, who has Waters for company. Important hand in there. Horsley frees the arms. Joyce. He's been terrific again today. There hasn't been a weak link, to be honest with you.
When you try and think of a nice chain of footy coming from South Fremantle, it's hard to think of one, isn't it?
No, it's been few and far between. And Subiaco can take much of the credit for that. Clark, Wheeler, sweeping ball for Marsh. Unguarded goal square, just requires the bounce, and the rest is history.
Sunrise is live from the biggest awards in television, the Emmys. All the stars from all your favourite shows. Plus, the war on carbs, the scientific new diet that's getting huge results. And we're live from Melbourne for our AFL Grand Final Party with special performances from Birds of Tokyo and Mike Brady. And you can't miss our massive Grand Final ticket giveaway. Only on Sunrise this week.
We just spoke about not seeing a South Fremantle flow of play, but Subiaco, we've seen that all day. Marsh has now kicked his second goal. He kicked the first of the game. And there's his second there. Lovely handball by Wheeler into open space. They've been so crisp by hand today. And gee whiz, they keep going on.
Could be triple figures if they really decide to go for broke in the last quarter. Dragovic across his body. Pearson caught behind. Heel did terrifically well. Gave it up, though, in the end for Donaldson. Off the outside of his boot. Gathered. Across to Subin. It's away from Stainsby. And good delivery for Hayden Sloyth.
Well, 104, that's the number you want to avoid. Biggest losing margin in WAFL history.
Hayden Sloyth, a noted goal kicker, but his numbers have been down today. Just the 9 disposals. And just their third goal, potentially off this kick. Always starting off to the right. So the last quarter of football at this venue for 2019. Cast your mind back 12 months. Subiaco winning the first ever WAFL decider here against West Perth. We have the preliminary final between the West Coast Eagles and Melbourne. A little more subdued this year.
Start to wonder maybe Sloyth might have a slight injury or something. I don't even remember him at many stoppages. I know after half time he'd gone forward to try and create a goal, but can't remember him hitting any stoppages too hard and being in amongst it. Today, maybe he's just had an absolutely off day, but I just haven't seen him play his normal role.
You'd think as well with Higgins getting his hand to the ball so much, he'd get on the moves from the stoppage, maybe over the back, try and give him a bit of spark. But I reckon you're on the money there, Zaid. You picked something up.
Subiaco so good at stifling opposition sides. That could be an element as well. Verrier's kick was smothered. Malters gave it up for Byron and gets the support from Russell through the middle. McIntosh. Main the target. Leatherland just did enough. Ooh. And Marsh collects cleanly. Opens up now for Delahunty. He's got runners out wide. Heads in that direction now. Sokol back to Delahunty. The Bernie Naylor medalist, the Sandover medalist, and comfortably taken by Borchette within scoring range, although he sees a man in the goal square. Waters, not quite. Maybe Clark, not quite. I'll try and concede here, South surely. And perhaps a little bit of Larry football.
There was 4 Subiaco players by themselves on this open side of the ground. And I think he looked and thought, how can I get it to one of them? And he just chose the most aggressive one. I think it was probably trying to do the team thing, but you're right. He probably would have kicked that.
And they will anyway, because Kitchen has dragged it out of the ruck contest and into an open goal.
At Simply Energy, we're proud to be powering up the WAFL during the final series. And no matter your team's result, we're offering 40% off gas usage charges when you pay on time. Call 1-800-286-867 or find us online to switch today.
Looking for a great deal on health cover? Well, look no further. Join Bupa on eligible products and get 6 weeks free. Terms and conditions apply. Call Bupa to find out more.
A little too easy. Lee Kitchen doesn't kick too many goals. 10 individual goal scorers now for Subi this afternoon. And he loved that one. Point blank range.
An absolute gift.
Sharked the tap, didn't he? Just read Brock Higgins' tap on the move with pace. That should really never happen that close to goal. Should it's over.
Nah, not that close. It's a difficult spot for Higgins to be because he obviously can't get it through on the full. But they need more than that.
Higgins still working tirelessly. Sends it inside 50. All knocked away by Stainsbury. Did really well. Young man onto the wing and beyond now. Horsley, disposal 26. Not much carrying that kick. Waters was the player that it was designated for. He's trapped between a couple of Bulldogs.
Not his best kick, Horsley, but 26 disposals, 10 tackles and a goal, operating at 77% efficiency. It's been a very, very big day.
At the 50, Subiaco continue to push Higgins. Ball fisted over the line.
We're talking about their stars, but they've got some good role players too, haven't they? Lockyer in particular. So steady back there, wins so many one-on-ones, and that time just playing the percentages, getting it out of bounds.
He just knows where to stand all the time.
He's very good at that.
Higgins and Delahunty. Newton out the back. Scrambles a kick. Ill-directed. Could be 50 almost. Not quite. No, Mascos wastes no time in any case. Across to Russell. Back inside the middle for Renka. And there's an advantage paid here because South Fremantle player was put down. McIntosh gets it out to Verrier. Stagnant forward line. Shaw not offering any movement. Now he heads to a more central position.
He's tried hard, Subin, today.
Loads up off the left. Sloyth behind. Has Main taken high. No whistle on the play. They scrap for it. Shaw wins it. Skies it. And Litherland with the patience, the cool composure. And the counter is on. If this sits and Clark takes on Higgins. Or does he? Loops it for Delahunty. Back to Clark. Poor old Brock. He's putting in every ounce of energy left in the body. The kick out wide. Brilliantly positioned for Sokol. And brought. There's the final kick, which sets up Sokol for a shot for his 6th.
And Brock had a Pyrrhic victory there, didn't he? Cut him off at the pass.
And then he went over him.
That's right, beep, beep.
He was running on empty for a long time, Brock. Sokol. Ready to go. Off the right. That's superb. He's had another massive day. A 6-goal haul to Ben Sokol.
Rover and I do everything together. He's reliable and never lets me down. Rover, you're my best mate. Rover, a gardener's best friend.
It's up to 80% off at Prime Liquidations. Bamboo panels from $29. Pebbles 20 kilos, now $10. Gazebos from $6.95. Bookcases, buffets, water features up to 80% off. Ends Monday. Prime Liquidations. O'Connor and now Buckingham Drive, Wangara.
Sokol coming in for his 6th goal, kicks it straight through truly. He has been absolutely phenomenal today, like the whole Subiaco team.
He's had 10 scoring shots.
He should have 7 or 8.
Yeah,
really.
He missed that one early.
not to beat, but that margin continues to creep closer to triple figures. Horsley, another touch. Dent going back over his head. Wheeler and Mascos turns and sends it inside the centre square. Subin, bouncing ball, accommodates Main. Hayden, a little off balance when he kicked that. Nudge came from behind. Pearson, the recipient of a loose ball. A scrambler, was touched in flight. Really difficult for Lockyer. Donaldson, worried out of it by Litherland. Clever by Lockyer. Went the toe poke, did enough. Lions out of danger, not for the first time. Comfortably, but that's Dent who'll send it back. Dent, heavy knock in the prelim final. That ball touched in flight as well. So Brought just intent on destruction. Florenka, Horsley, Main, and now Verrier, all trying to win clean ball. Verrier did really well. Florenka, kick and hope. Chaos ball. Well knocked on by Donaldson, and Russell bouncing goal. Stewart, the player who's bobbed up to kick it. And South belatedly get their third.
The holiday blowout. I spent how much on what? Luckily, Society One has a great low-rate personal loan. Way better than the banks. In as little as 24 hours, they consolidated my debts into one easy-to-manage loan, saving me a lot of money. They rewarded me with my own personalised rate, thanks to my great credit. To get your rate, go to society1.com.au and see how much you could save.
Nothing pretty about this goal. Stewart scrambling it through. And in the build-up, I think Kyle Horsley is now starting to put his stamp, perhaps on another Simpson medal. He's really going in as strongly as anybody still at this late stage. Some of the other guys in contention earlier have dropped off the pace a bit.
Restart. Horsley once again involved. Moore goes to ground. Buick and Main just escapes the clutches of Wheeler. Dropped chest mark by Donaldson. Taken without it. And the South Fremantle midfielder come forward.
Main still toiling away, up to 18 disposals. Nick Subin, as you mentioned, Dan, has fought hard all day. Had his 18th disposal just then.
Switches play for McIntosh. Off to Wilson. Can they get back-to-back goals? Shaw just didn't get a run at it. And Marsh. Hand pass was okay. Rowe just left it behind. And now Verrier. Awkward ball for Sloyth. He was taken high. The umpire realising that. There's a sense of theatre there, Den.
Not much movement. How about this? They just lay there eventually, call it a draw. And the heck with it.
He's very good at drawing those frees, Hayden Sloth. Always drops the knees a little bit, has a little arm raise. And I think Litherland's a little bit of frustration. He says, well, if you're going to give your free kick, mate, you're going to earn it, and I'm going to make sure.
Fair enough, too. And there is an inherent risk in getting a kick that way, of course. Good whack in the chops.
So Sloyth always off to the right again. Might be a score. And 3 or 4 lines in place to protect that. Heel to the back pocket.
Watch Subiaco play live 3 or 4 times this year now, and today's been their best display I've seen of playing like a team.
Running it out of defence. Powell, Stainsby broke 2. Can you believe that? Into the middle. If it gets out the back, they are on again. Waters, awkward for some. In fact, had 2 options more, the other player, but missed them. Gives it off to Subin. And he spreads it wide for Bob, who has it near the interchange gates.
And just to finish that off, they shepherd when they should shepherd. They block for each other when they take a mark. They're not selfish. They run past the ball to put a protection on for someone else to get the footy. It's a display and a sign of a great team, especially when you're up by 100 points in a grand final, fill their boots and get 30 touches. They just want to keep doing their bit. and their part in their role.
85 points as it stands, 17 goals to 3. Can't get much more emphatic than that. Almost to the 50. Newton. Hand pass in the Walters direction. McIntosh sets himself for it and takes it on the chest.
Dent is very slow to get up to. Copped a knee. Going for that last mark.
One back by Subiaco. Brought, receives it from Delahunty. 2 lines in the goal square. Not quite for Sokol. Waters. Ditto. Still the pressure. Marsh. 3rd time lucky.
Oh.
So just having a look at, was it this touched? Was it a behind? Did it go through the goals? That's the other question. He actually missed the goals, full stop. So forget the touch behind. Pretty sure we'll find that's a behind. The way they responded was in celebration, not to be a behind. Kyle Horsley, what a day he's had. 30 disposals. Flag number 5 coming up for you, Kyle. Can we say it now? Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, it's obviously the way the boys performed today. I think last year I thought was a flawless game, but today we've almost topped that. It's been an incredible performance. Every line on the ground and the coaching department, it's incredible.
Kyle, when you have a week off, there's always a risk that you're a bit rusty to start. How did you do that during the week? Because you came out firing from the first bounce.
Yeah, well, we sort of got the stats on South Freo, and they're 0 to 10 minutes. They're the best scoring team in the comp, so we really prepared ourselves mentally for it. And I think this stage of the year, it's probably all more mental than it is physical. And luckily, with that sort of motivation, and they sort of gave us a red herring a few weeks ago by saying that they can outspread us, that really motivated us to really prove a point. So hats off to the boys, the way they come out. You obviously never know in the warm-up. Sometimes you think you're going to be flying and you come out horrible, and sometimes you're horrible in the warm-up and you come out unbelievable. So credit to the whole squad.
Let's turn your head to your right here, Kyle, because Ben Sokol's looking at goal number 7. I want to see your reaction.
That's Harry Marsh.
But it's Harry Marsh, is it?
What people don't know is Harry actually did a high ankle sprain during the week, Sunday session, and honestly, I didn't think he'd play. It was sort of the end of the Sunday hit out, and it was one of them things that ripped the heart out of the group for a while. But to his credit, he's done everything he can. I think he's been in the ice bars 50 times this week, and to come out and play the way he's done is a Herculean effort, and hats off to him. It's been absolutely incredible.
Hey, last one, runner-up in a Sandover, mate. You'll take the premiership, I'm sure.
Absolutely, mate. That's why you're playing. Obviously, to see Lachlan win it, he's dominated the comp this year. I was actually surprised I got so many votes. And then at the end, I thought, that's stiff, second again. But obviously, Della to win it, I thought he'd be a clear winner. And, yeah, he's an incredible player and probably missed his opportunity at the higher level. But, you know, hopefully Ben Sokol gets that.
Kyle, congratulations. Well done. Enjoy the remaining moments of this grand final.
Thanks, gents.
Kyle Horsley in a chatty mood, as you would be when your team leads by this sort of margin.
Harrison Marsh, interesting player too. A couple of goals today. Had a chance to kick a 3rd moments ago. Normally played as a defender this year. Certainly at Sydney he did as well, but he slotted in very well down there today.
Joyce receives it from Kennedy, so he too can hit the scoreboard. Already with a goal next to his name, but he decides to send this to the pocket, and Marsh has been another option wearing the red boots this afternoon. He gets an opportunity from the other pocket.
Grandson of Ray Sorrell, dual Sandover medalist, and he's in the Australian Football Hall of Fame, so good pedigree there.
Such an even spread. 11 players with 15 disposals or more for Subi, as opposed to 5 in South.
Hard to stop, isn't it, if you're Della team.
Harry Marsh. Kick. Holds its line. Does enough. And another goal on the board for the reigning premiers.
Rover and I do everything together. He's reliable and never lets me down. Rover, you're my best mate. Rover, a gardener's best friend.
I was on the servo and I saw on the CCTV screen this balding bloke with the same jacket as me. But when I turned around, there was nobody there. And that was it.
Reached your turning point? The doctors at Ashley & Martin could help regrow your hair.
And Marsh there, we've just found out that he's got a crook ankle during the week. So he's done well to strap her up, get her out there and run around and sink the slipper on that one. And I reckon he might have possibly had a bit of juice in it. Sometimes it's hard to feel the ball when you've had a bit of numbing in the foot.
93 points, that margin. Still a possibility if you're a Subiaco supporter to get to that magical triple figures. The end can't come quick enough for that man. Still tried his heart out. Joyce. Newton picked up beautifully. Opportunity for Edwards-Baldwin. Couldn't quite track it. Almost at the 50. Will it sit for him? Eventually it does. Uses more. Central ball. And seen over by Strom.
I feel a bit for South Fremantle. They lost last 3 prelims in a row, win this one, get through to a grand final, and then something like this happens. It's a little bit demoralising. So hopefully they can bounce back and regroup and doesn't put any hoodoos on them or skeletons in the closet.
It's hard to recover from this because you think you've been hopeless then, don't you? You sit down tonight. Oh, seems like a waste of time. Is that Marsh again? No, it's not.
No, it was Heald, but he made up great ground and just launched himself at it.
He's a good player.
They haven't finished yet. Lockyer, Litherland. Has to be good to hit the target there. Delahunty was the option. Couldn't quite. Wheeler. Well, the hand pass wasn't great out of the congestion. Pearson was taken down in a hurry by Kitchen.
Dan, interested in your thoughts. How many players out of this Subi side are draftable or do you think deserve an opportunity?
That's hard to say because their best players are quite experienced now, isn't it? I think when you look back on how many may have been on league lists, there wouldn't have been that many. But I would think all of these players, certainly the top half of this team, could acquit themselves very well on a league list.
Podsielli got picked up at 27, yes. Was he? So you still get chances. Well, seems to be the right club at the right time.
They're rare, though, aren't they?
Well, the Tim Kelly case continues to be talked about. Mature ages. The right one could be valuable. Newton. Moore and Powell. Great kick. Really good ball. And Marsh has become a focal point in this last quarter in attack. He's starting to really become a weapon for them.
And just on that point we were talking about a moment ago, as consumers, of course, we'd like to see somebody like Delahunty get a chance, simply to see how he does go. There's curiosity about the gap between, and we spoke about that before. Perhaps not as large as we think, given what Marlion Pickett did today.
Harry Marsh has given himself ample time to gather some momentum. 30 metres adrift to the mark.
Played 20-odd games, almost 30 games, I think, for Sydney.
Really gathers some momentum right on the paint at 50. And still, it's under triple figures.
Gave that a fair hook. Hit the post about 3/4 of the way up. Kicked it from the paint. One of the future in NFL afterwards, some punting.
One of the things, too, if we're talking about the draft and everything else, is that when a player's been rookie listed, or on the list for a while, I had a couple of seasons there, never a second chance, or very rarely. They don't give them a second chance to go back, and they may have improved greatly.
It's hard because all that fresh blood's coming through and someone else is trying to take that opportunity.
Dying moments of this one. And these are the nice moments, I'm assuming, Lee, when it comes to grand final day as a player, that 5 or 6 minutes before the end when you just realise that the game, the premiership is yours, and the frustration there from Brock Higgins is palpable. Across to Horsley, so the Sandover medal winner gives it to the runner-up, and then the spoiled comes amongst all that. There's a free kick going off the ball, is it, or is it... Yes, back to Delahunty.
Yes, Skate, I've been lucky enough to play in a couple of grand finals and a couple of sample premierships, and that feeling when you know it's yours and you just wait for that siren to go.
And Ward escorts this one across the line.
Did you ever lead by 53 points at half-time?
I think one of them we won by about 40 points, and I think we're up by about 60, I reckon, at one stage, and they came home a little bit late. But you run past your mates and you've always got a smile and a glint and a slap on the bum. It's not the same intensity that was there if you know,
yes.
20 points.
Yep.
96 points the margin here. Not sure they'll get to that record figure of 104. But it's A moot point really with what they've done. It's all just a numbers game in that sense, but they are going to win this grand final as emphatically as possible. The coaching team led by Beau Wardman still looking calm and composed, but I'm sure the guard will come down in just a few minutes. Donaldson near the boundary line. Off the left. Well marked by Main.
If you're a Subi player, you just don't want to get a corky right now. Might swell up with a few more beers they're going to have after the game.
Well, Pearson was beaten to it, and now it's a foot race. Kitchen trying to protect Donaldson away from the footy. There's a whistle, and it's going to Subiaco.
Hasn't Littleland got onto a couple of big kicks today? One on the first term and that one there, a spiral. That must have gone 70 metres.
It was a really good launch just on the siren. And the benchmark of the WAFL goes back to back. One of the most emphatic performances in recent grand final history. Subiaco's biggest ever grand final win, 96 points, back-to-back flags. They celebrate in style. Let's head down to Steve Butler with a man who's had an enormous week.
Yeah, Lachlan Delahunty, he's a pretty happy boy, all the way from Frankston, 7 years in Western Australia now, a Sandover medal on Monday, and now a 4th premiership for Subiaco. How does that feel, mate?
Mate, it's been a fantastic week. It really has. Just it's a nervous week. It takes a long time. My local club, Minute Mattel, won the premiership yesterday. We've won it today, mate. I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon.
Might even go a bit further for the family next Saturday with your cousin Tom Lynch playing in the grand final for Richmond as well.
Mate, that would be the trifecta. It really would be, mate. So we'll cheer him, mate. We'll fly across next week, and hopefully they get the chocolates as well.
What does this club come to mean to you, mate?
Oh, mate, this is my home. This is my Perth home. It's a long way from Victoria, so they've taken me in, and I'm one of them now. So I love it, mate. No, I love going anywhere.
You're an absolute star of the competition, mate. Go and enjoy this win.
Certainly will. Cheers.
Lachlan Delahunty, 27 disposals and 2 goals. So many contributors today for the Lions. And for South Fremantle, it's a hollow feeling.
It's an empty feeling. It certainly is. I played in an AFL losing grand final and a SANFL losing grand final, and you're mortified. And I think when they showed up and you weren't even closing in, I think it's even harder, I reckon, Dan.
Oh, absolutely, yes. And in the rooms, nobody quite knows what to say. It's very awkward.
Not awkward for a man who's kicked 6 goals today, 6-3 to be honest with you. The Bernie Naylor medalist is with Steve.
Yeah, he certainly knows how to kick 1-6 more today. Ben Sokol, congratulations, mate. Must mean a lot to you to go back through this again. Such great celebrations here with all your mates.
Mate, it's an unreal feeling. We worked hard all year, and I think we got the result we deserved, so it was great.
Against your old club that you started with too, a little bit surreal, I suppose, in some ways.
Yeah, it is, and a few of my close mates played against today. It was tough to see them crying after the game, but look, that's footy, and I'll have a beer with them after the game. But yeah, it was a great game by the boys.
You've had a cracking year, Ben. Would you like to step up to the next level?
Yeah, I would, mate. So I think I'm capable. So if I'm lucky enough, I'll grab it with both hands. So yeah.
Well, you've had an awesome year, and you've played the magnificent grand final, mate. I know you're going to enjoy these celebrations tonight.
Thanks, mate. Ciao. Cheers.
Ben Sokol as one of the heroes for Subiaco. This team just does not know anything but success in terms of getting to grand finals. In this century, it's been quite remarkable. This is their 13th time on the biggest day of the year.
Well, they've won 15 premierships now, haven't they? 15?
Yep, and this is their 8th this century. So that being said, they're a powerhouse of this competition. Let's go back to Steve amongst the celebrations.
Oh, I've got Boy Wardman here and Beau. I know it's probably not the easiest job to step into following Jarrett Schofield, this great club, but gee, you've done a magnificent job, mate.
Oh, full credit goes to the players, our support staff, to carry on, I suppose, Jarrett's legacy, but for the players to do it in their own right, it was outstanding. I suppose the performance today probably a little bit unexpected, but just the whole way that they've carried themselves all year has been outstanding.
As we said earlier, you umpired a Colts grand final, you coached a Colts premiership last year, and you are as a league premiership coach, mate. What does that mean to you personally?
I suppose, yeah, it's a bit surreal at the moment, a little bit. A lot of hard work goes into it by myself, but the other coaches, I suppose I'll probably enjoy it a little bit tonight once it all starts to sink in, but can't be more right for the boys.
Well, great legacy this club is building. You've helped it this year. Well done, mate. Go and enjoy it.
Much appreciated. Thanks, Steve. Cheers.
Congratulations, Bo Wardman. Apologies for the audio issues there. A bit like South Fremantle's performance. Didn't quite hit the right notes today, Dan.
No, far from it. I think that Kyle Horsley will win the Simpson medal, his second too. I wouldn't be at all surprised. We'll get that announcement very shortly. I like the game of Brought. We talked about that during the game, and also Walters. I thought he played a pretty handsome role too. Litherland in defence was good as well, but they go right down. They bat so deep, don't they, Sydney? Or rather, Subiaco.
The team of the WAFL, the Kyle Horsley masks are out, and the celebrations have begun. A 96-point victory to the Lions. Back for the presentations. Right.
8 celebrities will compete, but there can only be one baby.
Get down and do it.
Right,
yeah.
I don't feel sexy. When you become a mum, you feel like a part of yourself shuts down. That part of you that is just for you.
See Jessica Rowe like you've never seen her before. It's the dance spectacular of the year. The Real Dirty Dancing starts next Monday, 7:30 on 7.
The Essentials range from New Choice Homes. Choose more designs, choose a low starting price, choose more inclusions, and for a limited time get even more with a $10,000 bonus. Choose more. The Essentials range from New Choice Homes, part of the Spadaccini Group.
I'll never be cheerful again.
I'm not in the business of cheerful.
Should we order in?
Did somebody say menu log? Did somebody say menu log?
Count a bit, City. 13-kilogram ivory coat, only $99 plus free tucker time roll.
$30 off Next Guard Spectra 6-packs, $20 off 3-packs.
Flight cage, only $179.
That's crackers, only at Pet City.
An important part of any successful garden is using a top-quality mulch. Vivanti's Lupin and Triple C mulch retains moisture, reduces weeds and feeds your garden. Find Vivanti's products in the garden section of Bunnings stores.
Your everyday spending could take you places. With 120,000 bonus Qantas points on a new NAB Qantas Rewards signature card, you can take that holiday and not have anything to worry about. NAB, more than money.
We are the generation who had it all. We're the generation that had the music and the moves. We're the generation that had the style. Well, sometimes. We're the generation who walked where no one had walked before. Like no one had walked before. And boy, did we know how to fly. We're the generation who found time for our children. We're the generation that had a dream and broke down walls. We came together to feed the world's children. We came together to protect them. And in this dangerous world, we have to carry on saving them, protecting them, caring for them, even when we're gone. If we remember UNICEF in our will, we'll remember the children who desperately need our help. And we'll be the generation who left a safer world for children.
Now we can switch scents from apple to water lily. Funky, isn't it?
Yes, but there's a breath way.
New Scent Switch, a scent of green apples that with every flush transforms into water lily scent. Scent Switch, only from Bref.
It's a beautiful morning. Wake up, get up, it's a beautiful day. Wake up, get up, it's a beautiful morning. Shining bright for you and me.
The King Living Spring Sale is on now. The Jasper from $3,990, built around an engineered steel frame for long-lasting, luxurious personal comfort. Hurry, sale on now. Visit King Living today.
A sensational grand final victory for Subiaco. Back-to-back flags for this team that has enjoyed so much success in the past 20 years. Victory coming by 96 points over South Fremantle. With the sun setting over Optus Stadium, it's time to head to the presentations with Steve Butler.
2019 Optus WAFL Premiership Cup. Please show your appreciation for both teams here today on what was a great grand final contest and a great win by Subiaco. Can you please thanks also to the umpires selected to officiate today's game. Selection is the grand final is also a great reward for your efforts. We sincerely appreciate the important role that you have played. Ladies and gentlemen, we've witnessed the culmination of the 2019 season here today. And while we have a winning team, we also have a losing team that has played some fantastic football throughout the year. Will you please join me in welcoming the captain of South Fremantle, Dylan Main.
Yeah, not good. First of all, to the Subi boys, leading all the years, far too good all year. Today as well, you just showed why you had such a good season and you've been a great team for so long, so congratulations. To all the supporters that came out today, it's great to see a wave of white and red and white. Apologies, we dished up that performance. To the WAFL, thanks for putting on today. The umpires wouldn't be possible without you. To our boys, it's been a long season. That one really hurts and I'm sure we'll come back better than ever. So, heads up.
Yes, please give a round of applause to Dylan Main and congratulate South Fremantle for a fantastic season. Well done, boys. In recognition of the player judged best to field in today's grand final, we'll now present the Simpson Medal. This award has been presented since 1945 to the most outstanding players in grand finals and state games, some of the greats of all time in West Australian football. Can I please ask Luke Simpson, representing the Simpson family, to now join me on stage to announce this year's winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, the inaugural Simpson Medal was presented first in 1945, so today actually represents the 75th WAFL Grand Final where the Simpson Medal is to be presented. The 2019 Simpson Medalist for the best player on the ground in the Grand Final goes to, from the Subiaco Football Club, Ben Sokol. Well done, mate. Make a handshake here. I've got a kiss around your neck. Say a few words. Yeah. Say a few words.
All right, first of all, unlucky to South. It was a great effort all year for you boys to get here, so condolences. And you've been great all year, so unlucky today. On our boys, fantastic effort, well deserved all year. Let's go and enjoy this one, boys. Well done.
We'd now like to invite the Premiership players of the Subi Club to come forward individually and accept their Premiership medallions from the members of your Little League team here today. We'll start with number 2. Come on up, boys. Start with number 2, Justin Joyce. Number 3, Hayden Kennedy. Number 4, Reece Waters. Number 5, Simon Moore. Number 6, Rowan Powell. Number 7, great effort to come back from an ankle injury today, Harry Marsh. Number 8, Angus Litherland. Number 11, another fine game, Ben Newton. Number 12, Greg Clark. Number 14, Ryan Borchett. Number 17, the Sandover medalist, Lachlan Delahunty. Number 18, the Simpson medalist, Ben Sokol. Number 20, and thankfully he's taken his mask off, Clancy Wheeler. Number 21, Jordan Lockyer. Number 22, Max Walters. Number 25, an excellent game in defence today, Michael Broad. Number 28, and a 5th premiership for Kyle Horsley. Number 31, Tom Edwards Baldwin. Number 35, Drew Road. Number 36, Aaron Heel. Number 59, Kyle Stainsby. And a big round of applause captaining his first premiership, number 1, Lee Kitchen. Now, will you please welcome WA Football Hall of Fame legend John Todd to present the John Todd Medal to the 2019 Premiership coach. This medal has been named after John in recognition of his outstanding coaching record and his long involvement in the game. Bo Wardman, please come forward to receive the 2019 John Todd Medal.
Thanks, Steve. Ladies and gentlemen, well, I'm a little disappointed for the red and whites. I was in their corner, not good enough. You got to lose one to win one, and hopefully they have a good pre-season and fire up next year. And I wish them well. Thank you. Subi, what a magnificent 2 years you've had. And to Bo Waterman, to come in and coach a team after it was undefeated last year has been quite magnificent, considering that he started off preparing himself as an umpire. So I must give more credit to umpires who understand the game. And Bo, I'd like to congratulate you on being the coach and winning the John Todd Medal. Congratulations.
Firstly, to Todd Curley and the South Fremantle Football Club, congratulations on a terrific season. Obviously, coming here today, great competition and well done on your season. Good luck for next year. To the WAFL for putting on a terrific season, to the major sponsor in Optus, Kia, Simply Energy, there was the other, Bupa. Thanks very much for your support of grassroots football and the premier competition in WA. On behalf of the Subi Football Club, thanks for your support today and coming out to the crowd. To Peter Capes and Mark Lawrence, thanks for providing me with an opportunity. Thanks to our sponsors, Holman, SKG, Bradmac Electrical and AE Hoskins, terrific supporters of the Subiaco Football Club, and we wouldn't be able to achieve what we have without the support of you guys as sponsors. To my coaching staff, to Nigel, Jason Bristow, Ryan Redfern and Paul Vines, for all your man hours throughout the season, to Husey at the desk, to Matt Cavidan and our reserves coach, and a special mention to Kelly Proper-John for all your work behind the scenes. A lot of her work goes unnoticed. Finally, to our playing group, this is an outstanding group of young men that have got bright futures, not only in football but in life, and that's what we pride ourselves on. Well done to you guys, and you deserve full credit for everything that you've deserved. Thank you.
Thanks very much to John Todd, and also well done, Bo. Before we go to the cup and pennant presentation, Premiership winning captain Lee Kitchen would like to say a quick word.
Thanks, mate. Bo's covered off all the important things. Just wanted to say congratulations to a great year to South Road, to Todd and to Dylan. Huge respect for you guys. I know it can be tough to swallow, but congratulations on the year. Great competitors, and it was good to finally play you in the big one. To our boys, you're special. What you were able to do over the course of the year, to continue to turn up and just put in and be selfless all the time, it finally came to fruition today, and we played probably our best footy for the year, so well done. Let's enjoy it now. Hey, well done. Get up here.
Thanks, Lee, and well done. The WAFL would sincerely like to thank Optus for their support this year. I now invite Optus Director of Sponsorship and Retail Marketing, Ben Lawless-Jennings, to come forward and present the Premiership Cup and pennant. Congratulations to the Subiaco Football Club.
A familiar sight, scenes of jubilation for Subiaco. Business as usual, back-to-back premiers. What a force they have been in this competition for so long now. And they celebrate their biggest ever winning margin in a grand final, 96 points. South Fremantle completely overwhelmed. And this Subiaco side, Lee Spur, have every reason to savour this moment.
They certainly played incredible footy today, and the captain to say that they put it all together was an understatement. It was a strong display across the whole team.
Absolutely, and the celebrations will continue. Let's head back downstairs to Steve Butler, who's in the presentation area. Okay, no Steve Butler for the moment. We'll get back to him, but the kick after the final siren will be certainly jumped upon by Subiaco supporters who are enjoying the moment. So many multiple premiership winners from the Lions. We talk about Kyle Horsley with 5, Lachlan Delahunty with 4.
Yeah, certainly is a spread of illustrious people in this team, but I love seeing these images of players that didn't play in the grand final, getting around their teammates, sharing these moments with their families, putting the cup on, getting to do the lap. That's the special moment, the people that are there through the tough times, and they get to enjoy the good times with you.
Just wonder whether Clancy Wheeler has decided to call it quits, being chaired off the ground, Premiership Cup in hand. It's been an amazing story this year in 2019. Left to go overseas travelling, comes back, plays some reserves football, breaks his nose, plays today, has an influence, and the Lions wrapping their arms around the big man. They will drink and party all night, I assume, at Subi tonight. Why wouldn't they? It's been a huge victory, 96 points over South Fremantle. And of course, grand final week starts tomorrow night with the Brownlow medal. You'll see it on the screens of 7.
As grand final week begins, it's here. All the glitz and glamour from the red carpet on football's